not the longest rivalry in college football, but Alabama-Notre Dame is certainly one of the fiercest. Legends coached these teams when the series began in 1973. Right away, it appeared that history was being forged when Notre Dame won the Sugar Bowl by a single heartbreaking point. The Irish had beaten Bama for the national championship, and it seems like the Crimson Tide has been aching to get even ever since. Notre Dame is enjoying its best season in years, now that Lou Holtz has established his influence on the team. Along with Heisman hopeful Tim Brown, the Irish look to be back on top. But not before they beat a Bama team brimming with confidence and loaded with talent like tailback Bobby Humphrey. Bill Curry is primed to topple the Irish when his Alabama Crimson Tide rolls in to face Notre Dame here on CBS. November Saturday was meant to be in South Bend, Indiana. Sparkling midday sunshine, big stadium, big game, Notre Dame dreaming of a national championship and a quality opponent in Alabama. Bill Curry bringing the Crimson Tide and Bobby Humphrey in here for the first time in over a decade. And believe me, Humphrey is not listening to the sound of the Notre Dame fight song. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. I'm Brent Musburger. Big game for the Irish. They're still dreaming of a national championship. For Alabama, they want to win the Southeastern, but a win here today against Notre Dame would impress the Sugar Bowl committee. And if they're tied, that committee will select the representative for the Sugar Bowl. What does it mean to Alabama and Notre Dame? Well, here's what head coach Bill Curry had to say on that subject.
If there weren't such high stakes, it would still be exciting just because it's Notre Dame and Alabama, but with all the things that ride on it, I think it becomes a wonderful thing for not just sports fans, but for young people. And there's so much negative today. I think it's exciting for people in Indiana and Alabama and around the country to be able to focus on an event like this, and I'm excited about it. It's a marvelous thing.
Well, Pat, two fine young men in Tim Brown, certainly of Notre Dame, and Bobby Humphrey of Alabama.
You know, and Brent, the coaches use these two players in different ways. Tim Brown, a flanker, he may only touch the ball maybe 5 times in the course of the game and maybe a decoy most of the ball game. But if you're a defensive coordinator, you always have to know where Tim Brown lines up. Now, Bobby Humphrey, he is the Alabama offense. He has to touch the ball for them to win today. They're impact players who play a large part in the outcome of the game.
Impact salary, too. So let's find out more. Let's send you to New York now for a complete update on what's going on. And here's Jim Nance.
All right, thank you, Brent. Of course, one of the big stories, the new quarterback at Oklahoma, Charles Thompson. So far, he's rushed 8 times for 19 yards, but just moments ago, he ran into Coach Barry Switzer. You talk about a new twist. Switzer has been taken to the locker room with a knee injury. We'll keep you updated on that in our ball game. But it's 3-0 Sooners first quarter. Syracuse trailed 17-0 against Boston College. Now 31 unanswered points for the Orangemen. 1 minute to go in the third quarter there. And Clemson can win the ACC title outright with a win today. And look at them, 4 touchdowns up on the Terrapins midway through the third quarter. And the coach, Ara Parsegan, of course, has some thoughts on today's Alabama-Notre Dame game. We'll be back with that in just a moment.
Fine-tune your life with Emerson.
My father is the greatest person I know.
If you had a race with my father, he'd always let you win at the end.
I love my pop very much.
He still calls me up and says, "How's my boy?"
When I grow up, I want to be like my dad.
When was the last time you took a picture of your dad?
Top-ranked Oklahoma leading 3-0 over Missouri. That game going to the second quarter. And we just received word that Barry Switzer is back on the Sooner sideline wearing a brace on his left knee after that injury occurred by the quarterback Charles Thompson running into the coach. Now, as far as our game today, it's Alabama and Notre Dame. And when you think of this rivalry, you think the 1973 era. You beat the Bear to win the national championship. You beat them in your last game, in fact, in the Orange Bowl. What about this game we're going to see here?
I think both teams are really going to be up, Jim. There's going to be a lot of contact out there. And even though Alabama has Notre Dame sandwiched between LSU and Auburn, a traditional rival, there's too much prestige in this game for them to come in flat. And for Notre Dame, they suffered their worst defeat last season at the hands of Alabama. And this is the last game for the seniors, so you know there's going to be some contact out there this afternoon.
I'm sure they haven't forgotten that 28-10 score last year. Now at halftime, the coach and I will talk with representatives of the major postseason bowls as we try to sort out who'll be going where and why. But next, it's Alabama at Notre Dame, and we'll rejoin Brent and Pat in South Bend after this word from your local station.
This is CBS.
Monday, October 19th, the stock market crashes, leaving millions of Americans waiting, watching, wondering. News 8 is watching too. Join Eric Halverson on News 8 at 6 for daily updates as the market struggles for stability. On News 8 at 11, The Watch continues, keeping you in touch with the latest developments at home and overseas. When your financial future is at stake, tune to Channel 8 for information that's fast, accurate, and complete. Money Watch, weeknights at 6 and 11 on Wish TV News 8.
91 Bravo, proceeding on rescue training mission.
One weekend a month, you can take off for the beach, the mountains, or a drive in the country in the Army Reserve.
Subject spotted.
Louisiana, number 48, outside.
The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame being introduced, and in just moments, Alabama will be taking on Notre Dame. What kind of a game do we expect? This one figures to be a land war. For more on that, let's go down to John Dockery.
If you can't run this baby, you can't win in college football. Take Notre Dame, for example. They've won behind a veteran offensive line with 4 fifth-year seniors anchored by Chuck Lowndes at the center. As a matter of fact, over the past month, they've put away 4 opponents by running the ball 85% of the time. Now, Alabama's not much different. Their guards, Rose and Condon, have led the way for Bobby Humphrey in their big win. So, Brent, the way I see it today, the offensive line will be the difference.
Eddie, you've been in that tunnel as a visitor. Alabama about ready to come out. What does it feel like here in South Bend?
Well, it's a special feeling when you come out here in South Bend. If your opponent, this is a game you'll remember the rest of your life. And, you know, John Docker was just talking about the offensive line, Brandon. Offensive linemen are a special group of people that always have a real sense of team about them. And Lou Holtz told us yesterday that if your leadership comes from the offensive line, you have a chance against anybody. And there's great leadership on both offensive lines of this game.
Chuck Lowndes just introduced to the crowd, and now Alabama will come out, led by Bill Curry. The Crimson Tide rolls in with a record of 7-2, and they are coming off a huge win under Curry last Saturday night down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, when they went in there and upset Louisiana State. Now they're in a chase for a berth in the Sugar Bowl, and a win against Notre Dame will impress the bowl committee. Now the Fighting Irish. This is a man who has done a remarkable job. Stepped in here and in 2 brief years turned the program around. Yet Lou Holtz has never beaten Alabama. He lost to him twice. Once at Arkansas and once at Notre Dame. We'll be right back.
CBS Sports presents college football. Live from Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, Indiana, it's the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Today's CFA game is sponsored by your Toyota dealer and the all-new Dimension 88 Corolla. Who could ask for anything more? Shop Vac wet-dry vacuums. We pick up where the others leave off. And by UPS for express delivery to Europe and throughout the United States. UPS runs the tightest ship in the shipping business.
Every time you hear your furnace start up, it's costing you money. Want to save money for a change? Then call your insulation contractor and insulate safely with CertainTeed InsulSafe. It's non-combustible, pure white fiberglass that may help lower your fuel bills all year long. So stop listening to your...
Beautiful weather for a November Saturday in the Midwest. A glorious day for this game between Notre Dame and Alabama. Notre Dame will kick it off. Ted Grotto putting the ball on the tee. And the two deep men, there's number 22, Gene Jokes, the cornerback, who also returns punts and kickoffs for Coach Curry. Underway at Notre Dame. Jokes knocked down at the 28-yard line. Don Grimm, an inside linebacker, making the stop. Now for Alabama on offense, the freshman quarterback, Jeff Dunn. He's the redshirt quarterback who stepped in a few games ago. Superb running back, certainly the All-American Bobby Humphrey. And the wide receivers, Marco Battle and Clay Whitehurst, number 82. What he has accomplished in a brief span of time for the Tide. Battle in motion. Humphrey on that toss. Cuts it back up inside behind his right tackle and into the arms of Mike Griffin, the nose man. Now the Alabama offensive line. Schultz is the center for Coach Curry. Rose and Condon the strength. Two superb guards. And the tackles Bentley and Chapman. Bo Wright replaces Doug Allen at fullback. Cross moves the tight end over to the right. They'll be strong in that direction. Dunn's first pass incomplete. In and out of the hands of the tight end Howard Cross, the junior. The defensive front anchored in the middle by Griffin. Gorman and Coons, the two tackles. The linebackers are the strength. In the middle, Pritchett and Volcar, they'll be busy. Figueroa and Gordon, two fine ones on the outside. And Dunn will throw again. There's a penalty marker down, and Dunn, a good scrambler, short of the first down, but there is a penalty marker on the far side of the field.
What you will see early in this game by the Alabama offense is they're going to run the pitch sweep, which they ran the first play, and then they use some play action and some short dump-off passes by Jeff Dunn.
Gentry is from the Southeastern Conference. Bill Curry's first year at Alabama, moved there from Georgia Tech. He was a great NFL center under Vince Lombardi and also Don Shula. Dunn replaced his injured quarterback early on. What kind of a dimension does Dunn give this offense, Pat Hayden?
He's a real tough type of quarterback. Bill Curry said he's a little bit like a linebacker in the Jim McMahon type of mold. As we saw him there, he's not afraid to stick his nose right in there. Not a great thrower, but very much a competitor. A good quality for a quarterback to have.
Now the officials are getting together because it is a mixed crew. There has been some confusion. There was an unsportsmanlike conduct call down there, and Curry quickly calling a lineman over as the ball will be placed down in Notre Dame territory. The crowd being notified.
That's interesting. That's one kind of penalty you don't see much from Notre Dame teams, and that's unsportsmanlike conduct penalties.
So it'll be a 1st and 10 for Dunn in Alabama at the 48. This is the Tide's first series. This is Humphrey. Behind the right side of his offensive line, blasts his way through to the Irish 39-yard line before Tom Gorman brings him down. Now the defensive secondary for the Irish, Spence and Smagala, the cornerbacks, and the safeties, Wells and Streeter. So you have met the two starting lineups on the field right now. 2nd and short, and that's where you want to keep a defense all afternoon if you can. And Dunn will throw it deep down over the middle, incomplete. Pierre Good, number 2, breaks deep, and he was covered by Spence, but the pass was not close to being caught by Good, who is fast, but he ain't Superman, Pat.
And Brandy Wells, the free safety for Notre Dame, did a nice job. He played center field beautifully. That's a tough pass to throw when you have a free safety in the middle of the field, the post pattern.
But now, because it was 2nd and short, they can come back out of their power I. Both Wright and Allen. Now Wright moves over to the right side of the attack, gives him an extra blocker from this look, and they'll get in front of Humphrey. He was strung out pretty good by that Irish defense, but as he stepped up for the first down, right there at the end, he got another Alabama first down. So this is an impressive opening drive, but the penalty was the key play so far, Pat.
Howard Cross, the tight end, number 85. This is one of the most difficult blocks in football, the tight end on the outside linebacker. And if you're going to run the pitch play as well as Alabama is going to, and as well as they do, you need the great tight end block. He's done it all year long.
Allen's the fullback in front of Humphrey. Ball is inside the Irish 35. Dunn will put it up on first down. Alabama surprising Notre Dame as they come out passing. This one is complete, and it is the tight end Cross. He gets down inside the 20. Another Crimson Tide first down. 15 more yards, and Dunn shocking the Irish defense early.
And we said they were going to try to come out and throw some short passes. Now, when you have Bobby Humphrey in the backfield, obviously the play action is going to work well. Mike Griffin, number 94, forced him out of the pocket. But what I like about Cross, you see he comes right back to the quarterback. He saw the quarterback in trouble, came and met the pass. That's a good play by Cross.
Battle in motion. Keeps it on the option and steps in behind Bo Wright. And if the ball came free, that was Terrell Chapman, the tackle, who pounced on it quickly for Coach Curry.
So we have seen Dunn actually keep the ball twice here early, Brent. Actually, the pitch was open down here. Bobby Humphrey on the outside really had the kind of situation you want, but Dunn likes to keep the ball and try to pick up those 4 yards inside. There was the fumble.
And that was Chapman who got over on it. He's the freshman. Again, Dunn to throw. Irish looking for a pass rush. Safety valve to the side to the fullback. And Randy Wells gets Doug Allen out of bounds. Pat, what about this Alabama game plan? Are you surprised?
I'm surprised with as much throwing as they've come out with. We expected them to throw short early, but not the deep ball, which they tried to throw early in the ball game. We do expect to see a lot of pitch sweep running behind Howard Cross, the tight end.
Curry shuttling fullbacks with the plays. Wright brought this call in. There's a slot to the left. This is 3rd and long. Stepping in motion. He's a superb receiver, but there go the middle, deflected and almost intercepted. Great defensive play by Ned Volcar, the linebacker. He was matched against the back. What a superb defensive play. He saves a touchdown.
Terrific reactions by Volcar. He's on the inside. Jeff Dunn is trying to drill the ball to his tight end. Volcar has him one-on-one, tips the ball, and then makes another nice reaction, going back and tipping it a second time. You see the tight end was actually open. If Dunn had lofted it over Volcar, he had a chance.
Now the field goal, Philip Doyle. It's a 34-yarder. He has not missed from inside the 40 this year for field goals, and he hammers this one through. Alabama on its opening drive moves down and kicks a 34-yard field goal. We'll be right back.
Introducing Toyota Corolla for 1988. Dramatic.
Turbulent times with some giant wins. Now can the Cowboys get back on the playoff track against the Patriots tomorrow on CBS Sports.
The man who made the big play, Pat.
It was a sensational play. Here he is. Pole car's right here. Cross is right here. They're trying to hit the ball in the middle of the field there. The tight end is going to run down here, and the ball is actually drilled. If he had lofted it over the coverage, it would have been a touchdown. You see, there's no free safety back there in the middle of the field. Dunn reads the coverage well and tries to drill it. If he lofts it over ball car, it's an easy score.
Ready to kick it off. Alabama set to come down now. It'll be Ward. Tide leading the Irish 3-0. Short kickoff. Tim Brown moves up anyway at the 25. Breaks a tackle. Sprints free and is cut from behind at the 43-yard line. Well, Tim Brown moving up there at the 25, and Courtney, a wide receiver, bringing him down.
You know, sometimes you forget that Tim Brown is a big guy. He is 6 feet and almost 200 pounds, and he's strength. He's got a lot of strength. Most wide receivers will go down with an arm tackle, but not Tim Brown. You can see him break one arm tackle there. And then he breaks another one, a second one there, and he gets brought down from behind. But he is a very strong receiver.
Tony Rice, the Irish quarterback, Notre Dame's first series offensively. They'll come with Green, their tailback, and look at that Alabama pursuit. Randy Rockwell, 57. Gilbert was there, 56. 4 white jerseys. Hit Mark Green right away. Now let's meet Tony Rice. He's the quarterback, and the running backs, they'll use a couple of fullbacks. Anthony Johnson starts it. Mark Green, the tailback. Out wide, Reggie Ward, good blocker. And, of course, the favorite to win the Heisman, Tim Brown.
He's a pretty good blocker himself, Tim Brown.
Now, this is 2nd and long. This is a tough down for Rice. Off a play fake. He's going to throw. Diving catch complete at the 40-yard line for a first down. Tim Brown comes up with his first reception for 17 yards.
And you can tell Tony Rice is looking for Tim Brown here all the way. He had his tight end Heck wide open, but he has such tremendous confidence in Brown. And Alabama is really not going to try to do anything different with Brown. Don Lindsay, the defensive coordinator, told me. And Rice does a nice job of delivering the ball.
Alonzo Jefferson at the bottom of your screen. Number 3 checks in for Coach Holtz. And they'll run Green straight ahead in the left side of the Irish line. Got a hole, and Greg Gilbert finally tackled him.
If Notre Dame can run the ball inside, they'll win this football game. And here is the play right inside. Mark Green gets a great block by Tom Freeman, the left guard. And then Green does a nice job of picking his way through. Green doesn't get much credit because he plays in the team with Brown, but he's a fine player.
Jefferson's in the slot. Green stopped short right at the line of scrimmage, and that was Derek Thomas, 55, getting in there. One of the better linebackers down in the Southeastern Conference. Number 55 had a great game against LSU. And Chuck Lanza, the anchor. And the guards, Brunhard and Freeman. Rader and Spruill are the 2 tackles. And the tight end, Andy Heck. They split Heck far to the left on this 3rd and 4. They pitched to Green. Now the tight end was trying to come back and help him with a block. He couldn't get there. Randy Rockwell and Willie Wyatt buried him. So this is 4th down. The ball is at the 32-yard line, and they send Grottle onto the field to attempt the field goal that would tie the game. It's going to be a 49-yarder and close to a 50-yarder by Grottle. The longest he's hit this year, a 44-yard field goal. On its way. Ted Grottle ties it with his longest field goal of the season. the coach's reaction on the sideline as the Irish tie it, and the student body starts pelting the end zone with oranges. We'll continue.
Hey, look at this. A free trip after just 20,000 miles.
Yeah, but it would take you 20,000 miles to read those restrictions.
He reads?
Northwest frequent flyers get a free trip at 20,000 miles, period.
There go.
In baseball, there's Wrigley Field, Fenway Park, and in college football, folks, there's only one Notre Dame. Look how intimate this arena is, with the fans right down on the sideline, and they're in the end zone. The student body has been warned that the Irish will be penalized if any more oranges show up. Why oranges? Well, the students want to crack at either Nebraska or Oklahoma. They want to go all the way and win a national championship. Now Grottle out of Sylvania, Ohio. Nails the kickoff to Jelks inside the 5-yard line. And Jelks is down at the 10. Tremendous kickoff coverage. Coleman, a backup running back, gets in, number 23, to make the stop.
Again, tremendous emotion by this Notre Dame team. Remember, many of these players were here during the Faust years when they had that big drought, but they're back in very much in the bowl picture. The seniors' last home game, lots of emotion.
Now it's Alabama's turn. Jeff Dunn at the controls. Humphrey spins but can't get anywhere. Wes Pritchett, the first man to hit him, and he spun off him, but he slowed him up. The inside linebacker, those two men on the inside against Humphrey, will be busy all afternoon.
You know, Humphrey looks tall and slender, and sometimes you forget he's 200 pounds, and he can outrun you, but he can also run over you.
Cross moving to the right side of the line. Dunn going down the left sideline. Stafford's open, but he can't get to it. Incomplete. Wells giving chase.
I'll tell you, I like Jeff Dunn's arm. That was a very strong throw, but once again, had he put a little bit more air on the ball and allowed Stafford to run under it, he would have had his second touchdown pass of the day. He pretty much drills this ball. Didn't give it Stafford quite the chance to get under it. Strong arm by Dunn.
Alabama must get up to the 20 for a first down. They face a 3rd and long here. Plenty of time on the run and almost intercepted. Pierre Good couldn't get a handle.
Southpaw, number 31 there in the middle of the screen, really made the play. He read the pattern, and watch him drive on the ball. The ball's in the air a long way. Southpaw gets his hand on it, and Spence is there to try to make the interception. Tough to come back like that on a grass field.
Good punter, Chris Moore. And Tim Brown ready, standing just inside midfield. Bill Curry said he'd challenge him. He'd go after him. This one, though, off to the right side. Picked up on one bounce by Tim Brown. There's got to be a penalty marker. I saw the man on the wing signal for a fair catch. I saw Pat Eilers throw an arm up, and then Brown took it on one bounce like he was going to try to return that punt. So there will be a penalty against the Irish on this play. And Lou is explaining it to the young man.
Anytime. Ball, delay, receiving team, first down and 15.
What Lou is telling them, any time that Tim Brown has a chance to get it, let him have it. But you'll see Eilers, number 13, clearly waving his hand there. I think Brown is actually trying to run up and catch the ball and never saw Eilers wave his hand.
2 penalties so far have hurt Notre Dame. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Alabama's first drive, and now a mistake that cost them excellent field position. This is not bad field position, understand, but it could have been inside the 50 with Tim Brown returning that punt. This is Green giving it to Brown on the end around. Brown gets past the defender, but there is a penalty flag down at the 40-yard line. Might have been a clip called. Osment, the safety, came up to press that time.
And Brent, I think the clip was on the center, Chuck Lanza, who actually did a real nice job after centering the ball, getting all the way out to the perimeter of the defense to make the block on Osment.
So in the early going here in South Bend, penalties hurting the Irish.
Right part of the screen, you can see the center, 51, right there. He comes out. There's reverse. Pretty well defended. There are two white jerseys there, and there's the clip on Osment. And it was Lanza.
The clock shows 7 minutes and 43 seconds to go here at Notre Dame. Alabama 3, Notre Dame 3. Now they have 25 yards to go for the first down. They've got to get all the way back up to the 44. Green busts a tackle and gets to the 26, but it'll still be 2nd and long for Tony Rice. Now Rice is a 6'2" sophomore quarterback who has completed less than 42% of his passes, no touchdowns, and 3 interceptions. He's a young learning quarterback. Because of Proposition 48, he didn't even work out with Notre Dame last year at all. In fact, he didn't take a snap with this team until August. So he hasn't had much time to learn. And today he'll learn under fire. Now he gets Andy Heck over on the other side of the formation. Off the scramble, and it'll be 3rd and long for Notre Dame. And we have not yet met the Alabama defense. Great nose man, Willie Wyatt, one of the best tacklers down in the Southeastern Conference. There are the 2 tackles. Linebackers are superb. Stewart and Gilbert on the inside. Outside, they got one of the best in Derek Thomas, Randy Rockwell. There are the corners, Mangum and Jokes, Osment and Kendrick. Kermit Kendrick, the 2 safeties. 3rd and long for the Irish. They'll throw off the roll. They move the pocket this time to Tim Brown. A 21-yard gain, and they move the pocket. But they are short of the first down, and so Vince Phelan will punt it away.
And Brett, you can see Tony Rice developing as a passer week by week. We saw him a couple of weeks ago. He wasn't very confident throwing the ball against Southern Cal, but he looks like a much better passer here today.
Now Brown, with that reception, broke the record here for career receiving. Now has 3,000, and that breaks Tom Gatewood's mark, set back in the late 60s and early 70s. Phelan hammers the punt. Jokes lets it go on in, and it does on that last hop into the end zone for the touchback. 54-yard punt. It'll come out at the 20. So Bama and Notre Dame are tied, and we'll be right back.
Memo to Phil in DP. You seem to think IBM's 386 PCs are an automatic buy. I don't. Not when we have a choice. I suggest you look at AT&T's 6386.
Toyota feeling and the by-power touch.
All right, it's over 2,300 now for Tim Brown, and his mother has never seen him catch a pass, even in high school. And that's right. To go out for football down in Dallas, he told his mother he was trying out for the band. She didn't want him to play. She thought he was too small, but if she's listening or watching somewhere, your son's a great one, Mrs. Brown. Now on first down, here's another standout. Huge hole in the middle of the defense. Humphrey ran into his own man. Penalty marker is down, and he gets to the 45-yard line with a great run.
On a silly clip downfield by the wide receiver, because most of this was Bobby Humphrey by himself. Didn't need really the block downfield that time. Yep. Terrific block by Bill Condon, the right guard. You see that he blocks Griffin, the nose tackle, creates a huge hole for Humphrey, and great vision, a terrific eye. See the cutback? It's tough to do that on grass, as he usually plays on AstroTurf. You don't see many great cutback runners on grass, but Humphrey can do it. We saw the great block by Condon, Bill Condon, number 77. Brent, he's a guy that John Madden would love. You know, he's playing with the bad foot, the bad ankle. He had knee surgery a year ago. And Bill Curry didn't think he was going to get a chance to play today. Condon said, "You better play me every down on offense today."
Right now, Pat Humphrey will get a rest. And Kerry Good checks in at tailback for Alabama, number 35. Dunn keeping it on the option. He'll go to Good. And Good battles his way to the 38-yard line, and Todd Light, number 1, the first Irish defender to hit him.
The basic play in the arsenal is the toss sweep for Alabama, and there are 2 key blocks. One by the tight end, Howard Cross, who's a sensational block on the outside linebacker. The other key block is the fullback on the support man. He's got to kick out, and if you get a block here, you've got a big lane for Bobby Humphrey.
Taking a quick breather. Right. And Good. Split. And the center didn't even hike the ball. A little misunderstanding on the count.
Dead ball. Illegal procedure. Offense. Second down.
Now Alabama hurts itself with a couple of penalties. In the early going, it was Notre Dame.
That'll happen sometimes when you have a new center. Roger Schultz is playing center today, starting actually for the 3rd week in a row, but he's never played center until this year, until 3 games ago.
They run that sprint draw with Good, and the Irish defense ready. Tom Gorman, 87, the defensive tackle, the first to hit him.
3rd and 5 situation, but a passing situation. The one liability for the Notre Dame defense this year has put in a rush on the passer in this kind of situation. They haven't been able to do it without a blitz.
Now Humphrey brings the play in from the sideline. He's a spectacular receiver, don't forget. They flare him, and here he comes. And the Irish are ready for that play. Great defense. Todd Light coming up to hit the Alabama tailback. Alabama will punt it away. Tim Brown standing on his own 25, really at the 26-yard line, isn't he? More inside his 25. Here it comes. And he is down at the 20-yard line. Number 23 did a tremendous job. Todd Richardson, the cornerback. Oklahoma playing today in Nebraska Idol. Let's go to Jim Nance for an update on the Sooners. Jim?
All right, Brent. Oklahoma finally scored its first touchdown just 40 seconds prior to the half against Missouri. Anthony Stafford from a yard out. Now the new quarterback Charles Thompson in the first half, 13 carries for 57 yards. And the new fullback Rodney Anderson in there for Lydell Carr, fumbled twice in the first 2 quarters. Let's go back to Brent and Pat.
All right, Jim, the Irish come up to the 20-yard line with a 1st and 10, and our score, Alabama 3, Notre Dame 3, and Johnson, the fullback, up the middle. They bust out for a 1st down. Looking for Green. They come with Johnson for 14 yards behind the middle of that Irish offensive line.
Notre Dame is one of the great trapping teams in all of college football, and you don't see teams doing this in college football much. You're going to see the trap by the guard who's going to come out and pull. And the fullback, the right guard right there, Grunhard, cleared the way for Johnson. It takes tremendous timing.
They split the tight end away from the line, and they come again with the fullback, but that time Robert Stewart was ready for him. folks drove up here for this game. Second and long. Randy Rockwell, Alabama's fine outside linebacker, shaken up a bit, and he has gone to the sideline. The blitz on the move, throwing deep, incomplete. He overthrew Ray Dumas. We have talked about how this would be a land war, and you can see why we thought that way coming into this game. And against Boston College, Notre Dame ran it 40 straight times in the second half to finally come from behind to beat the Eagles. 85% running plays with the newcomer Tony Rice in at quarterback. But against a talented all-around defensive team like Alabama, you're going to have to pass as well as run, and nobody knows that any better than Coach Holtz. And so Rice, but the one thing they have given him is that moving pocket today. This is Green on the pitch. Cuts the daylight and a first down. George Bethune, who replaced Rockwell, bringing him down.
Interesting there, Brent. We saw Tony Rice caught an audible. Watch the fullback go as he leads here and makes the nice play. This was an audible called by Rice, and actually Tim Brown has a lot to do with these audibles. He stands out in the corner of the defense and yells into Tony Rice the coverage and when to call the audible, and that's what happened right there.
1:40 to go and still in the first quarter. Tim Brown slotted there to the left. Rice options to the other side, and he kept it all the way. The sophomore from Woodruff, South Carolina, a good runner. He has averaged 4.5 yards a carry. Greg Gilbert, number 56, an inside linebacker for Bama, brings him down.
You know, Brent, I think Nebraska has the most diverse offense in all of college football, and Notre Dame is trying to do that. They're going to give you some throwing game. They give you the power football, and they run the option. We've seen a lot of that, all of that here in the first half.
Syracuse under pressure. They were behind, then tied at 17, and Coach McPherson explodes there in the second half, and they stay unbeaten and untied. Here is Johnson. He's been a big factor running the ball right straight up the middle. Philip Brown finally stops him, but a great job by Lanza, Grunhard, and Freeman in the middle of that Irish offensive line.
And again, the fullback trap. So many college teams cannot do this because they don't have the kind of experience that Notre Dame does and the patience. You need great offensive guards to run the traps, and that's what Notre Dame has. Notre Dame, a national recruiting school with players from all across the country, but Anthony Johnson was discovered right here at home in South Bend. First and 10. Notre Dame on the move again with the score tied at 3. Now Rice slips on the option, attempting to cut back. Time remaining in the first quarter. One of the things about Tony Rice, it'll be very difficult. There was a penalty flag down at the line of scrimmage. That's why we've got a little delay here. One of the things about Rice, and you probably will not be able to hear it. Coach Holtz obviously unhappy right now, but when he comes up to the line, the defenses are actually read by the wide receiver, Tim Brown, in an effort to help young Rice out. We saw a perfect example of that a few plays ago. We saw Rice go with the audible because Tim Brown shouted the coverage into him. He stands on the corner of the defense, doesn't get down in a three-point stand so that he can see the defensive coverage.
Brown bringing the play in from Coach Holtz.
Some guys have a nose for the goal line, but Tim Brown's nose starts about 70 yards out. You know, he can go.
So another penalty against Notre Dame, and that leaves them with a 1st and 20. Braxton Banks in at fullback in this formation. Rice has time. Complete to Brown over the middle. A first down. 22 yards, Rice to Brown.
Tim Brown again yelled the coverage into Tony Rice. And then what Notre Dame does a nice job of, they give Tim Brown the whole center of the field. Everybody else clears out. As you can see, the one receiver run right by him. Tim Brown occupies the whole middle of the field, and Tony Rice just finds him. That's a good call.
And we've come to the end of the first quarter. Tony Rice has completed 3 of 4 for 60 yards, all to Tim Brown. We'll be right back.
My mom always made me feel better, no matter what.
My mom was easy to love.
My mom used to sing me to sleep at night. Sometimes I really miss that.
You call garage owners. So, when your garage doors or electric openers need service, call us at Garage Doors of Indianapolis. Call us this morning for service today. Today.
Got a problem? Call Contact.
The exchange of field goals and a fine performance by Tim Brown. Brown's last catch, leaving Notre Dame as we start the second quarter with a 1st and 10 against Alabama at the Crimson Tide 31-yard line. Now, number 57, Randy Rockwell, is back at linebacker for Alabama. He was shaken up. He's on the short side of the field. There he is, 57. Wishbone look. Rice keeps it. Battles his way for about 3 yards, and there is some hammering going on right now between these two teams. Mangum, the corner, number 29, coming up on the stop of Rice.
Brent, most teams have to substitute to get into different kinds of formations. Notre Dame can get into the wishbone, to the 3 wide receivers, anything they want with the same personnel that they have in a game. That's an advantage for their offense.
Jacobs in at tight end for Notre Dame. Banks, the fullback. Superb second effort. But they must get to the 21-yard line for a 1st down, and he was short of that.
Braxton Banks looks like a fullback, and he's a tough inside runner. This 3 or 4 yards is all Braxton Banks because there wasn't a lot of room there. That's pretty good defense, but Banks gets a lot out of very little.
6'2" sophomore, all the way from California. And timeout will be called. Notre Dame will use its first of 3 timeouts. So Lou Holtz wanting to talk it over on the sideline. A big drive for the Irish, and we'll be right back.
Next Saturday, the game of the year, Oklahoma, Nebraska on CBS Sports.
Way through savage traffic in very civilized room and comfort. And of course, you'd want Camry style, just to impress the natives. Toyota quality. Who could ask for anything more?
That's the drive so far, and it has left Notre Dame with 3rd and very short. You're in a situation where you can almost try to break a halfback here and then come back if you fail to get the 1st down with the fullback. He's going to show the wishbone. Now Brooks, the freshman tailback, is on the right side, and Green, 24, on the left. This is Green. 1st down, close to the 15, as Mark Green of Riverside, California, battles for another Irish 1st down.
This is one of the best offensive lines in college football. On the left side here, you have the backup tight end Jacobs, and then Raiders the left tackle, and Freeman the left guard. The fullback Banks does a nice job of picking off a linebacker inside too. But when you get that kind of explosion off the ball, you'll pick up a yard.
Gene Jelks, the corner, cannot nail him down. Bring Brown in motion, and they run Green in that direction. Green cutting upfield and getting to the 11-yard line. There has been talk about switching Green out to flanker next year after Tim Brown graduates, and using either Ricky Waters or Tony Brooks at tailback. Lou Holtz says, I don't want to do that. Green is starting to show us that he is one of the better tailbacks in the country. He's the junior. He's been the mainstay of this Irish running game. 109 carries coming into this afternoon's action. The fullback, Braxton Banks, set in front of him. Off the option, the fullback is hammered.
Boy, and Derek Thomas there, Brent, got off the line of scrimmage. He's an outside linebacker, but he gets off the ball as fast as anybody you're going to see. He's had 14 sacks because of that this year. Number 55 on the left part of the screen there. You see he takes a quick inside charge, but he's so quick off the ball. Just to give you an example, Cornelius Bennett only had 15 sacks in his entire career at Alabama. Thomas has 14 this year.
Now the Irish must get to the 5 for a first down, and they face a very important third down, and the Alabama defense uses up a timeout. This is not the Notre Dame offense, so Lou Holtz gets an opportunity. And of course, this is the start of our football weekend coverage here on CBS. Tomorrow we'll switch the focus to the NFL. There is a great wide receiver, Jerry Rice of the San Francisco 49ers, 12:30 Eastern time. You'll meet him. And in the games you will see it's doubleheader Sunday on CBS. And late we'll have the Giants and Philadelphia. Buddy Ryan. They've won 3 in a row, and Buddy will correct you and say 4 in a row. I don't count those replacement teams. And here it is, Notre Dame and Alabama tied at 3 with 12:10 to go in the first half.
Very important down here for the Alabama defense on a 3rd and 7 situation. This is not the kind of situation that the Notre Dame offense has handled well this year. But the Tide has to think stopping them here and forcing them to kick a field goal.
So Clemson captures another ACC crown. They'd be perfect too, except for North Carolina State. Now the big one for the Irish and Tony Rice. Off the option. Rice keeps it. Touchdown, Notre Dame. To attempt the extra point. He has already booted his longest field goal. Now he adds an extra point. Notre Dame leads for the first time this afternoon. It's the Fighting Irish 10, Alabama 3, as Tony Rice scores for Lou Holtz. We'll be right back.
Aha. There's a thief in this attic. This skimpy amount of insulation can rob you blind on your fuel bill.
Fight back with the attic blanket from Owens Corning. It's the thickest, most powerful roll of pink insulation you can add. It can help you save money on your fuel bill.
It is an open and shut case.
Owens Corning. We put your house in the pink.
Wake up. I could run off the road and you wouldn't know the difference. I can't stay awake. Here, revive with Vivarin. Vivarin helps wake you up.
Government-appointed experts confirm it's safe, effective.
Revive with Vivarin.
Listen to the sound of a closer, smoother shave. Williams Electric Shave.
And Grottle is ready to kick it off for Notre Dame. The Irish leading the Tide 10-3. Notre Dame has rushed for 19 touchdowns in its last 5 games, 5 of the 19 by Rice. Now Jelks was shaken up. We showed you that he could not bring Green down, so they've sent Humphrey in to help return this kickoff along with Good. And Humphrey is an experienced and dangerous kickoff return man. He's got it there at the 10. Whoa, down he goes.
That was John Foley, number 49, who's been sensational all year long, Brent, on the kickoff team for Notre Dame.
He is becoming somewhat of a legend here on campus. They can't wait for him to play linebacker next year. He was ineligible to play coming out of the Chicago area, one of the most highly touted young linebackers in America. And he meets Mr. Humphrey. It's the Lombardi winner a couple of years down the road against perhaps the Heisman Trophy winner of next year.
It's incredible. Even the students today were telling me, watch 49 Foley on the kickoffs. Watch 49 Foley.
A young man in Chicago, he worshipped a fellow by the name of Butkus. And as a result of that hit, Kerry Good steps in at tailback for the Crimson Tide. And here comes 35. And ever since that opening drive, the Notre Dame defense has toughened up.
Brent, at the top of the show, that Tim Brown can even be effective when he's not getting the ball. You'll see two defenders on Brown right here. And on the touchdown, Rice called the audible away from Brown right down here and then ran in from 9 yards out or 12 yards out. The option play is the most difficult play to defend inside the 15-yard line.
Pierre Good and Whitehurst are the wide receivers in this 2nd and long. They'll toss it to Kerry Good. And coming off a block beautifully is George Streeter, the junior safety from Chicago, number 27, with a fine defensive play.
This Notre Dame defensive backfield really hasn't gotten enough credit this year. They're terrific tacklers led by George Streeter.
Incomplete. Let's go downstairs to John Dockery. Doc.
Thank you, Brent. The man who started the season for the Fighting Irish was Terry Andrzejak. Hurt a collarbone 5 weeks ago against Pittsburgh. Terry, how's it coming along?
It's a slow healing process. There's about 5 breaks in it, but it's coming along real well. Everything's setting real well, so it's been a few weeks yet.
Chance to come back this year?
Hopefully. I'm looking for a bowl game, but it's a little far away yet.
And a possible redshirt appeal. Brent, now back to you.
Chris Moore punting the ball. Picked up by Brown on the bounce at the 40. Jitterbugs and goes down right at the 41-yard line. Did I hear someone say a redshirt appeal? Is that what?
Not at Notre Dame, yes. But, yeah, they are actually looking into an injury appeal. Notre Dame has an official policy of not granting red shirts, although there are a number of fifth-year players on the Notre Dame squad, including 3 of their offensive linemen.
Well, young Tony Rice will go back to work here with Tim Brown in the Notre Dame offense. On the option, now he pitches to Green. Green out of bounds on the near sideline, but not until he crosses midfield. And close again to another Notre Dame first down.
When Tony Rice started at quarterback a few weeks ago for Lou Holtz, he didn't have a whole lot of confidence in himself, and he wouldn't pitch the ball on the option. Right now, you're seeing a young man who's gained in confidence, Rice, and there he pitched the ball beautifully to Green.
Tony Brooks will check in at tailback as Green takes a breather. They bring the chains to the near side for a measurement. That far. Well, they can go for it all here on a deep pass to Tim Brown or one of the other wide receivers and still come back and pound for the first down on third, you would think.
You know, Brent, I'm really surprised the receiver, the other one on the other side of Tim Brown, isn't a bigger force in the Notre Dame attack. Reggie Ward has only caught 1 pass, and his backup has only caught 2. You would think with all the attention that Brown got, you'd be able to get to the other receiver.
10:23 here in the first half. Notre Dame 10 and Alabama 3. They'll show Wishbone, and they'll move Tim Brown to the right half. And Rice will throw from that formation. He wants Brown. Hit an Alabama player, Rockwell, I believe, in the back of the helmet, and there is the penalty flag. Not sure that Rockwell was keeping an eye on the ball at all as he went out on pass coverage against Brown.
I've always felt the underthrown ball is one of the most dangerous plays in offensive football because the defensive back never sees the ball, but the receiver does, and he can stop and either get the catch or the pass interference. Rockwell was right there, came off his helmet, and Tim Brown tried to go back through him. They called the interference on Rockwell. Some teams actually try to underthrow deep passes for that very reason.
That is perhaps the most critical statistic of the day. What Tony Rice and the Irish can get on first down. What can you leave him with on second? That time it was second and very short. They go to still another tailback. Ricky Waters, the freshman from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, checks in. This Irish team is deep and talented at running back. The fullback, Banks, straight behind the right side, and Derek Thomas, 55 there defensively.
This Alabama defense is the kind of defense that can give a team problems, although a good running team can really control the line of scrimmage, but they use a lot of different stunts on the defensive front of the Crimson Tide.
Aaron Robb, number 21, in at wide receiver. He is out to Rice's left. This is Waters. Getting to the 28-yard line. Willie Wyatt, the nose man for Alabama. Holding on.
Willie Wyatt, the nose man. Interesting stance that Wyatt took there that time. He wasn't down in a 3 or 4 point stance. He was up in a 2-point stance, almost like a linebacker, although he was lined up right over the guard.
Unusual to see a nose man lead a team in tackles the way Wyatt does, but he is so quick, and he gave you an example of his expertise on that play. Now it is third down. They must get inside the 25. Off the option. Rice has got the first, and down close to the 10-yard line.
Tim Brown here is also a very effective blocker. You're going to see him come down and just screen the defensive back. Meanwhile, right behind him, Tony Rice is running for big yardage. There was a mistake there by the Alabama defense. Someone has to come up and force the quarterback when he has the ball on the option. Force him to pitch.
Hold him, defense.
So Indiana kicks a field goal in that Big Ten showdown, and Tony Brooks back in, and they'll show Wishbone. This is Brooks. Cut back inside, getting to around the 7-yard line.
This is the second time I've seen this Notre Dame team this year. I'm even more impressed this time because they are. What we're seeing today is power. We're seeing option football, and we're seeing a Tony Rice who's throwing the ball better than he has all year long.
They gave up a field goal on Alabama's first drive. Then the Irish kicked a field goal to tie it. They marched to a touchdown, which gave them the lead. Now they are trying to score again, and Mark Green, as you saw, has returned to that backfield. Brown jitterbugging to the 5. Sometimes when players receive the kind of publicity and attention that Tim Brown has and play for Notre Dame, there's suspicion about how good they actually are and how much of it is publicity. But if you go to the professional scouts and you ask them about Tim Brown and where he will go in the draft as he comes out, they will tell you that he could be the first player picked. He's that skilled. For the last 2 games, he's played with a broken finger, and that's why that hand is taped. Wishbone on this third down. Rice, the dangerous runner. The penalty flag comes down, and they may have used too much time. Yes, the clock showing 0. A delay of game, and that will disappoint Holtz.
And a critical era inside the 10-yard line in a 3rd and 4 situation. Changes the whole complexion of the next call.
And Brown quickly returns along with Reggie Ward. So Curry gets another break.
Maybe he's looking for a way to get Tim Brown a touchdown. I don't know. Throw him the ball in the end zone.
Brown is to the right, standing up there in the slot. They bring him around. He busts one tackle, but he cannot get the job done, and they'll have to go for the field goal. And that time, Gene Jelks was equal to the challenge.
Very fine secondary by Alabama. We saw them early in the year as well. Good tacklers back there, particularly Mangum.
They would have 6 yards for the touchdown, a little over 5 for the first down. So Grotto will attempt another field goal here with the ball being put down at about the 13-yard line. Penalty markers come down as there's some movement there in the middle of the 2 lines.
Now again, if that's Alabama, now you got a different kind of play. That might be a first down now. Or it would be 4th and 1.
Good ball. Offside. Defense. 4th down. That's
It was the inside 3 guys right in here who jumped off the ball before it was snapped. A critical error here now by Alabama.
And the crowd beginning to chant, go for it, go for it, against Curry. Now the ball was put down now inside of the 4-yard line, and Lou Holtz will send the offense back onto the field. The ball is at the 3, and I'm not sure that he realizes how far it is from a first down. This is a long 2 yards.
That's exactly right. They're going to reevaluate the distance before they make the decision.
So they will use up a timeout in this situation. Tim Brown will talk to the officials about the measurement. We'll be right back.
If you could ask for a rugged, reliable partner that'll take on heavy-duty responsibility, Toyota 1-ton truck. No compact or even mid-sized truck hauls a payload like this. And when you ask for pulling power...
Me, no one makes tender, juicy chicken like the Colonel. It's finger-licking good. Here, son, let me give you a lift.
Chicken right.
Alabama perfect against 4th down efforts, but Notre Dame 5 of 8 on 4th down. So those 2 statistics collide. You can see on the far side where they would have to go for a first down without scoring the touchdown. Throws the pop pass for the touchdown. Andy Heck, the tight end. So Tony Rice throws his first touchdown pass, and it comes against Bill Curry's Crimson Tide. And Lou Holtz makes the call, and it was a big one, wasn't it? As Grotto nails down another extra point.
And this is a sensational call. Nobody expected Andy Heck, who has not been a big receiver, the tight end in the Notre Dame attack. As a matter of fact, this is his first touchdown. Rice tried to get him the ball a little quicker than Heck was actually to fight through the traffic. But a sensational call. Everybody's looking for Brown. They faked the option. I actually thought they were going to run an option play. And he was wide open. A nice little catch there. Concentration by Heck. First touchdown catch of his year.
No one happier than Coach Lou Holtz. Folks, the Fighting Irish are back.
This is a tough stadium to play in, but remember, Alabama has 2 very impressive road wins this year. They played in some tough places in the SEC. They just got back from LSU a week ago, so they're used to hostile environments.
17-3. The Irish leading the Tide. 5:41 left here in the first half. Good and Humphrey maneuvering as the return men for Coach Curry. At the 10. Down at the 20-yard line. Again, excellent coverage. We want to update Oklahoma. Let's go to Jim Nance in New York. Jim?
Well, Brett, the Sooners have scored again midway in the third quarter. The redshirt freshman, Charles Thompson, keeps it running left. 14-yard score. Thompson now has 93 yards rushing. 14-point lead for Oklahoma. And, of course, we'll have all the scores and highlights on the College Football Report at halftime, Brent.
All right, Jim, we look forward to that. And we also look ahead to next week. Oklahoma, Nebraska. Notre Dame will be playing Penn State. Here's Bobby Humphrey on the cutback. And you can see Brandy Wells. Phil as he came up. And Darrell Gordon, Flash Gordon, if you will, number 38, the linebacker.
Bobby Humphrey is one of the most patient runners you're going to see. He lets things develop. You saw him right there. He'll wait for the offensive guard and tackle to make their blocks, and when he finds something he likes, then he'll turn it into high gear.
He's rushed for 50 yards on 6 carries this afternoon. Second and long for Dunn. Battle in motion. Faking the toss. Penalty marker is down, complete to Stafford.
They called a clip there, I think, on Bill Condon, number 77. Cedric Figueroa did a nice job of containing. He didn't get lost by the fake, the naked bootleg there by Dunn. It was right there to make the play, and that's why Condon had to clip him. Bobby Humphrey has a mother much like Tim Brown's. You know, his mother wouldn't let him play high school football as well. Actually, it wasn't until his sophomore year that his mother, Marlene Humphrey, actually signed the release to let him play. And his older brother, she wouldn't let play at all. The head coach of the high school called and said, please, Mrs. Humphrey, please let your son come out. Otherwise, he might have been a trumpet player out here in the band.
He'd have been the fastest trumpet player you've ever seen. That's Stafford going up the far side. This is second and long for Alabama. Dunn under pressure, almost picked off. Wanted his fullback on that middle screen, and Flash Gordon stepped in there. Dunn 3 for 10 for 17 yards.
And give Jeff Kuntz, number 93, some credit. Watch, he's going to come clean and put some pressure on Dunn. He gets rid of the ball a little bit earlier than he wanted to. And Gordon had been knocked down but got back up and almost made the play. It's an emotional Notre Dame team today.
Big Jeff Kuntz gets down in that line for the Irish. Pressure against Dunn. Incomplete. Cross can't hold on, and he was hit by Cedric Figueroa, number 48, the other outside linebacker. Chris Moore standing in his own end zone. Punt drives Brown way back inside the 35-yard line. Cuts back into the middle and explodes. Here comes Tim Brown, and he slips up down at the 30-yard line. And he is disappointed.
He is a man who plays with a smile on his face.
Watch this 33-yard return by Tim Brown.
Some guys just see the whole field, and I think Tim Brown is one of those kinds of players. You have a feel for where everybody is. Bill Bradley once wrote a book called A Sense of Where You Are, and I think that's what Tim Brown has. He knows exactly where he is and everybody else on the field.
A 33-yard return off a 53-yard punt. Plenty of time left in the first half. 4 minutes. The Irish at the 31, and Alonzo Jefferson, an injured player, back at the left 40. And that's why he is down right now. There's been a lot of talk about the Heisman Trophy, and so I asked Bobby Humphrey of Alabama. Bobby, exclude yourself. Who would you vote for?
Well, I would vote for Tim Brown. He's you know, been very impressive this year, you know, in the different positions he's played. You know, he can do anything on the field, and he can play any position on the field. And right now, I think he's leading the race, and he's a great athlete.
When your peers vote for you, it must be so.
And that's the man who might very well be the front runner next year, Bobby Humphrey.
And take a look at how they compare this year. Numbers are quite similar.
Humphrey had a great sophomore year, too, at Alabama.
Notre Dame with great field position. Off the option again, it is Green. There's an alley. And Green's inside the 10-yard line. 22 more rushing yards for Notre Dame against this Alabama defense.
Watch Byron Spruill on the far left of the screen, number 73, put the screen block, really, which made the play. He blocks 94 there, Smith, and that allowed the pitch and then Green to get outside. Spruill's had a sensational year at tackle for the Irish.
Waters in at tailback. Here he is. He's elusive and sidesteps one tackler and gets his way to the 7. Lou Holtz with a great deal of depth offensively.
Brett, this Notre Dame team is not the most talented team by far that I've seen this year, but there's a feeling and a sense of team and a caring for one another that you don't find on too many teams, and I think that's one of those ingredients that made them successful.
Something that Holtz preaches. He's one of the great motivational speakers in this country. I know a lot of you have heard him away from football. He runs Johnson straight ahead to the 4-yard line. He doesn't wear a headset down there on the sideline because he doesn't want anything interfering with his selection of the plays. He'll get information from up above and find out what they want called, and then he'll make his judgment based on that. There's an injured Alabama player down, and it might be Gene Jelks, the cornerback. Number 22 is Jelks indeed. He's had a tough afternoon of it so far. Switched over this year from tailback to cornerback. He wasn't going to play much, they said, because of Bobby Humphrey.
But he made the move willingly, and I tell you, you need guys like that on your team who are selfless, and Gene Jelks is one of those kinds of guys. He's picked off 3 balls this year in his first year at corner.
Let's go downstairs to John Dockery. Doc?
Thank you, Brent. I don't know if you recognize this man or not, but he was the captain here in '82. Dave Durst, and now with the Chicago Bears. Welcome back. Is this your first time back?
It's my first time back, and I'm telling you, it's a weird feeling.
How's that?
Well, you know, coming through that tunnel, the last time I was here was my senior year, and that was the last time I was able to hear the fans and see this grass, and you know, it's just a great feeling to be back home.
What's your most memorable moment here at Notre Dame?
Well, a lot of memories, but probably that first time I ran through the tunnel my freshman year.
It is so special to tradition. What about Monday night? You have the Denver, right? Broncos?
Right, Denver in Denver. And we've got to play better than we have in the last 3 weeks if we want to win that ball game. And we can't afford to allow them to get up on top the way we have the last 3 weeks.
All right, thank you, Dave, and welcome back. Okay, Brent.
All right, John, thank you. And Jelks being tended to with the leg injury, helped off to the far side, and all of us certainly hope that injury is not serious. Shannon Felder will step in his place, number 41. Junior out of Willis, Alabama, will play in that corner.
Take a look here at the injury to Gene Jelks, number 22. It happens an awful lot when there's a lot of guys just floating around. Oh, right there. Ouch.
Third down inside the 5. face, rolling, got Brown open, and he overthrew him. Had him open, and he simply overthrew him.
Tough throw for a right-handed quarterback going to his left. Takes a lot of touch. Sometimes when you have a guy that wide open, as Brown really was there, I think it's one of the more difficult throws to make. You try to aim the ball in there and make it too easy to catch.
So this will be a 21-yard field goal attempt by Ted Grottle. He adds 3 more to the Irish total. Notre Dame gives up an early 3, but they've crushed the Tide since then.
It's so easy to own Tercel. It's so easy.
The 1988 Toyota Tercel EZ. The price will take you right back to the 50s. Only $59.48. Reliable Toyota Tercel with a price dialed down to the 50s. Right now, power and zip, contemporary up-to-the-minute style, good old 50s price.
Who could ask?
Back live at Notre Dame Stadium, along with Pat Hayden and John Dockery, I'm Brent Musburger. Ted Grottle putting the ball on the tee, and it was his field goal which started the Irish on their way. It tied the game at 3, and since then, Notre Dame has added 17 points, and with about 2.5 minutes to go in the first half, they lead Alabama 20-3. Humphrey steps up, has it at the 11. Breaks free. Bobby Humphrey comes across midfield and cannot get free as number 20, Tony Brooks, the running back, hauls him down from behind. But a brilliant 66-yard return, and it came at a critical juncture in this game for Alabama. They must get something going.
A terrific run by Bobby Humphrey. He looks like a politician going through a fundraiser here. You're going to see him break 2 or 3 tackles, and then there's poor Ted Grottle trying to put a stop on him. What's the move there? The great cutback, even on this grass where oftentimes players slip. Terrific run by Humphrey.
And it's Good trying to come up over the top. Mike Griffin bringing him down.
So the crowd favorite here, Brent, on the kickoff was John Foley, but he gets picked off right there. He gets taken by actually 2 men. And that allowed, Bobby Humphrey runs right by him. Terrific vision by Humphrey. And the moves.
Fullback Bo Wright threw a great block in that sequence, didn't he? Now it is 2nd and long for Dunn in Alabama. They need something on this series. Off the option, Dunn keeps it, and he was crushed by Gorman, number 87.
Third time he has kept the ball on the option, Brent. Again, he had Bobby Humphrey on the outside had he pitched the ball. Very important down here for the Tide on 3rd and 4.
Boge Fazio's defense got tough. Dunn under a great deal of pressure, throws it up for grabs and almost intercepted. A very dangerous pass against double coverage. Wells and Pritchett were back.
Very well defended, but there's an adage in football, never late down the middle. And that's what Dunn did there. He was very lucky. Marco Batto actually did a nice job, almost made a terrific catch.
Now Philip Doyle to attempt the field goal here on this 4th down. It's a 34-yarder. It's the fake. Alabama with a fake field goal for the 1st down.
Larry Abney was the holder. A terrific call by Bill Curry. Remember, all the quickness on the Alabama side of the ball, really. Abney the holder. This was set up this week in practice. Notre Dame is actually trying to go for the block. Todd Light, number 1, had contained, but Abney, number 19, the backup quarterback and holder, made a nice play for the first.
Now first down with the ball at the 11. Dunn throws it incomplete. The Irish wanting intentional grounding on that far side. I'm not sure that Foes doesn't agree with him there. With the sunglasses, he is the defensive coordinator of this Notre Dame defense, former head coach at Pitt, and he has done a superb job.
Jeff Dunn has been flushed out of the pocket 4 or 5 times this first half, and that's one of the things that Notre Dame wasn't doing well this year, is putting pressure on the quarterback. But up front, the Irish have done a nice job and forced Dunn to move out of the pocket.
Now that is Jeff Dunn. There's a shot of the walking wounded, wasn't it? Jokes.
Wow.
Filing through the frame, and now Dunn. Here we can see the end of this play, Pat. That was Flash Gordon running him out of bounds into the band area over there on the far side. And Bill Curry told us, as Pat Hayden passed on along to you earlier, Dunn thinks he's a linebacker. Now the quarterback is Vince Sutton. He'll step in and take a big snap. And he throws the ball towards Stafford, incomplete. Stafford was covered by Light. Another gamble by the Alabama staff.
Vince Sutton is an experienced quarterback for Alabama. You see him there calling the timeout. He started 2 games for the Tide this year.
All right, we'll take a break. Now let's take a look at these 2 fine schools, the University of Alabama and Notre Dame.
I can't define leaders and winners, but I know they have those intangibles that win.
A winning tradition, an inevitable result of careful planning, attention to detail, and a commitment to be the best. At the University of Alabama, we're proud to honor a tradition of winning that is legendary, with a new tradition of learning that's visionary. The Paul W. Bryant Conference Center at the University of Alabama.
The University of Notre Dame grew from a vision of Father Edward Sorin, who wanted to build an American Catholic university, the equal of the great medieval universities. Today, Notre Dame is the best-known Catholic university in the world, a residential campus where students come not only to learn, but to learn how to live. Notre Dame serves contemporary society and the church in whose tradition it was founded by being a place where belief informs scholarship, where values give meaning to facts.
And Toyota presents a $1,000 check to these 2 fine schools on behalf of Randy Rockwell from Alabama and Mark Green of Notre Dame. Today's Toyota Leadership Awards. Congratulations to both of them. We have 23 seconds to play. Quarterback Jeff Dunn, shaken up, was being iced on the far sideline there, a stiff neck. And Vince Sutton quarterbacking the Crimson Tide. This is a 3rd down with the ball at the 11. Sutton with protection, incomplete. Wanted Humphrey, and Todd Light, the freshman from Flint, Michigan, delivers the hit.
Terrific defense. Most defenses inside the 20-yard line play man for man and try to blitz you. Right here, they pull a changeup. Notre Dame plays zone. They expected Bobby Humphrey to come across clean, but Todd Light stayed in his zone and made the play.
Jim Nance with that Prudential College Football Report at the half. This will be a 28-yard attempt. They set up to kick one a few moments ago and faked it. And the kick is good, so Doyle represents all of Alabama's points here in the first half. 2 field goals on their first drive of the first half and what appears to be their last half. In between those 2 field goal drives, Alabama sees Notre Dame put 20 points on the board against them. So Bill Curry in his first year brings an Alabama team here. These 2 great schools didn't play each other till 1973. Nara Parsegan, who's back in the studio in New York, certainly remembers that first game for a national championship won by Notre Dame. He made the big call. Tommy Clements, that 3rd down pass out of the end zone. A free trip to the Sugar Bowl if you can name the receiver who caught it, Pat Hayden.
I have no idea. I know it was a backup tight end, and Era will probably kill me when I can't remember the guy's name.
I'll bet Era said it as soon as we asked it.
Yeah.
Alan Ward will kick it off this time, and Tim Brown standing there around the 13 or 14-yard line. Up at the 20 by Johnson, and Johnson makes like Tim Brown, coming to the 47-yard line with 8 seconds left on that clock. A 32-yard return, and Notre Dame will get a couple of shots here, 1 play and even a field goal if they can hit a long completion quickly.
And they do have 1 timeout remaining, and we saw Grotto hit the 49-yarder a little bit earlier.
And Kent Graham checks in as quarterback for Notre Dame. He has a strong arm. Remember, Jelks is out at corner, and Shannon Felder, he goes over on the far side. This is Graham's first snap as Brown comes in motion. He gets protection. He wants Brown over the middle, but the center fielder is there and picks it off. Mangum, lurking back there in the middle, made the interception. And the clock is stopped with the 1 second remaining here in the first half. Certainly worth a try.
Right? Did you think any of those defensive backs felt that they were going to throw it toward Tim Brown? I'll tell you, this is an emotional first half here by Notre Dame. The adjustments at halftime Bill Curry is going to have to make as you see Graham throw the interception. It really doesn't hurt him. You give your best athlete a chance to go up and make a great play. But Mangum read the quarterback all the way and made the interception. But Bill Curry's got to make some adjustments. I think they need more out of the running game in the second half.
They're just going to kneel it down here. Let Sutton run the clock out. And you can tell when they put the wide receiver back by the goal line. And that's it, the end of the first half. The Fighting Irish at Notre Dame 20 and Alabama 6. It was the surprise call of the game. On 4th down and short, Rice came up throwing his first touchdown pass. Peck's first touchdown reception. Jim Nantz will be back with a college football report after this message and a word from your local stations.
In places beyond the reach of other overnight delivery companies, you'll find UPS. Because unlike the competition, only UPS next day good men.
This is CBS.
Deadliest game show of the future.
Showtime!
But he's playing hard to get.
How about the lights?
The Running Man, rated R.
Now playing at a theater near you.
When you're serious about your chainsaw, you want an Echo. Starts easy, runs strong. Especially if you're a little impatient like I am. Okay, grow, little fella. That's it. Come on, come on, come on. All right.
Echo saws are Ken Thorne's Mower and Engine Service, Indianapolis, Indiana. Southport Lawn Equipment, Indianapolis, Indiana. Baldwin Small Engine, Columbus, Indiana. Magnum PI tonight at 11:35 on Wish TV.
The Prudential College Football Report is sponsored by the Prudential. Your Prudential representative goes above and beyond to meet your needs in insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, your rock in financial services.
Welcome back to New York. Jim Nance along with Ara Parsegan. And before we get to the scores, I want to take everyone back to December 31st, 1973. Alabama 11-0 taking on Notre Dame 11-0. And Ara, the play coming up was called the greatest call of the century right here.
Well, I don't know that it was the greatest call of the century, but certainly it led to a national championship. But interestingly, Jim, the principal receiver was Dave Casper coming across. The defensive halfback made a mistake. Clemens had to throw the ball to Weber, who caught only his second pass for the whole year.
And it was supposed to go to Casper.
That's exactly right.
All right, what about the first half here in our ball game? 20-6, Notre Dame beating Alabama. Your thoughts on the first half?
Well, I thought the key matchup was the Notre Dame offense against the outstanding Alabama defense. In the first half, there's no question about it, Notre Dame won that. They have 209 yards to about 92. So at least the first half, it's theirs.
All right, Ara. All eyes on Oklahoma today to see how the Sooners are adapting to this new backfield. And Charles Thompson, so far 4 fumbles by the Sooners. This game has just started the fourth quarter. As we reported earlier, Barry Switzer on the sidelines, hobbling with a knee injury after being run in on the sidelines by the quarterback, Charles Thompson. That's a touchdown by Michael Jones of Missouri after a Thompson fumble just moments ago, and Missouri scores there to cut the lead from 17-3 to 17-10. From what you've seen so far, are the Sooners ready for Nebraska next week?
Well, I got glowing reports on Thompson during the course of the week when I talked to the offensive coordinator out there. But still, just as we talked a week ago, Jim, when you lose your outstanding runners, your 2 top runners, you've got to have these guys play under pressure, and that's what they're doing today. If they come out of this ball game with a win, then they'll be ready for Nebraska.
Thompson has rushed for 97 yards, passed for 104, but his team's only leading by 7. Now, Nebraska worked out for 2 hours this morning in Lincoln, getting set for the Sooners next week. The big showdown you'll hear or see right here on CBS, number 1 against number 2, 3:30 Eastern time here on CBS. Now, teams in the top 10 playing tonight: 3rd-ranked Miami, 4th-ranked Florida State, and number 10 LSU, all heavily favored in their ball games tonight. Number 5 UCLA taking on Washington. Eric Ball has scored 2 touchdowns for the Bruins. Gaston Green has not played so far. Syracuse against Boston College. Now, can you believe it? BC scored the first 17 points in this game. Jim Bell went over 1,000 yards on the season for the Eagles, and Jim Bicknell's team was leading, or Coach Bicknell's team there was leading. Jack Bicknell 17-0, and Don McPherson, though, led him back again. 265 total yards today for Don McPherson. The touchdown pass there to Tommy Kane, and Syracuse really coming on there in the second half. Your thoughts on Don McPherson? I see this guy right now, along with Tim Brown, the 2 most valuable players this year in college football.
I'm very much impressed. The guy's got quickness, he's got speed, and as you saw there, a tremendous release, and I think he's a real pro prospect.
Boy, Jack Bicknell's team last week scared Notre Dame, and today they scare Syracuse before the Orangemen pour it on. It looks like Syracuse is going to the Sugar Bowl. We'll talk more about the Bulls later here at halftime. Auburn and Georgia, the oldest rivalry in the South. What about this game, Coach? Any thoughts?
Well, you talk about Vince Dooley in Georgia. When they get in close ball games, he wins somehow. It's happened I don't know how many times.
All right, so you'll take Dooley there. Now, Clemson today clinched the ACC title with a win over Maryland. That final was 45-16 for Clemson. And here's the quarterback, Rodney Williams, off the play action, going to the pride of the Tigers, Gary Cooper. 50-yard touchdown put Clemson in front at that time, 10-7. They go on to romp 45-16, 2 backs. Over 100 yards today for the Tigers. Now, elsewhere, Indiana and Michigan State. This is the game that will decide things in the Big Ten. The winner will go on to the Rose Bowl. Michigan State leading as Lorenzo White has just scored. You know Bill Mallory real well. Any thoughts here?
I called and talked to him during the course of the week and was absolutely shocked when he told me that he was going to try to run against the team that's number 1 in the nation, giving up 1.8 yards per carry. So far in this ball game, they've carried 8 times for 5 yards. So he's going to have to put it up if he expects to win the game. All
right, Hoosiers trailing at the moment in the second quarter, 7-3. South Carolina today held Wake Forest to 3 yards rushing. Look for South Carolina to go to the Gator Bowl. Oklahoma State, Thurman Thomas, over 200 yards rushing so far. He has scored 3 touchdowns for the Cowboys. Reggie Cobb, the freshman, 3 touchdowns, now 19 on the season for that volunteer running back as they win easily. Texas A&M and Arkansas. Halftime, and the Aggies lead by 7 over the Razorbacks, who are trying to keep their Cotton Bowl hopes alive. And Texas beat TCU 24-21. Eric Metcalf, the son of Terry Metcalf, has gone over 200 yards rushing, or did today, in that Texas victory by 3. And we'll have more scores and highlights in just a moment as the Prudential College Football Report continues here on CBS with results from around the country.
soar beyond your expectations. Today, the Prudential can show you a new world of financial opportunities. Look to the Rock for stocks and bonds, mutual funds. Feel its strength in CDs, insurance, and mortgages. With the right choices, the right guidance.
Jim Nantz and Ara Parsegan on the College Football Report. We continue with more scores. Army today looking for its 4th win of the season. It's just gone final. Army wins it by 12. Navy picks up its 2nd win of the year over Delaware. Army and Navy's next games will be on December 5th. You'll see it right here on CBS, Army-Navy. Harvard over Penn today by 17. Harvard tied for the Ivy lead with Yale, and Yale was a winner as well. So next week, Harvard and Yale, the game, they call it, and that will be for the Ivy League championship. Columbia's losing streak is now at 40 in a row after losing to Cornell today. Holy Cross runs its record to 10-0. The final home game in the career of Gordy Lockbaum, 212 total yards for Lockbaum in that game, and he scored 2 touchdowns. Virginia beat North Carolina by a field goal there. Virginia came back from 17 to 7 down. Florida over Kentucky. Gators are talking about going to the Aloha Bowl after that win today. Michigan scored with 43 seconds left. It was Phil Webb taking it in for the Wolverines as they beat Illinois by 3. Ohio State and Iowa. This game has a minute and a half left, and the Buckeyes are beating Iowa by 5 at the moment. Northwestern and Purdue, 3 minutes left in this game, and the Boilermakers are leading by 2. BYU and UTEP. Bob Stoll, the coach there for UTEP, doing a great job. In fact, they'll be sought after, I'm sure, after this season by a lot of schools because UTEP is 7-2 on the season right now. A big turnaround. That's tied in the 3rd quarter. Wyoming leads the WAC right now, 5-0 in conference play. They scored 10 seconds into this game, leading as that game has just started the 4th quarter. And when we come back, the coach and I will talk about post-season bowl matchups with officials of the Orange, Cotton, and Fiesta Bowls as the Prudential College Football Report continues here on CBS with more scores from around the country.
We go above and beyond just like you. Above and beyond what we have to do. Ensuring the best in life for you.
When it comes to life insurance, nobody goes above and beyond.
We go above and beyond just like you. Above and beyond. Above and beyond.
Welcome back to New York. Jim Nantz here along with Ara Parsegan. And Coach, the key to the bowl picture is for one bowl to try to attempt to line up the 2 highest ranked teams. Next Saturday on CBS, #1 Oklahoma meets #2 Nebraska. The winner takes the Big 8 title and an automatic berth in the Orange Bowl. The opponent, well, as it stands right now, that would be #3 Miami in a matchup for the national title. Now, last month, Miami coach Jimmy Johnson was our guest here on the College Football Report, and he was clearly angling at that time for a firm commitment before his team's final games against Notre Dame in South Carolina.
If we're lucky enough to be unbeaten on Pick'em Day, we will pick a bowl, no strings attached, no ifs, ands, or buts. We'll say that's where we're going.
And joining us from Miami right now is Pete Williams, the head of the selection committee for the Orange Bowl. Pete, the question everyone wants to know, right now, are you going to make that commitment to Miami? Is Jimmy going to get his wish? Or are you going to wait and see if you can get a 2-way deal going with Notre Dame?
We feel like that if Notre Dame is able to win out here, they deserve the opportunity to challenge #1. We would like to make that possible for them, but it might be denied to them from other sources.
Then it looks like Miami is your team on January 1st.
Like I said, I can't make any comment, but a lot of people are drawing that conclusion.
Pete, thank you very much. Joining us now from the sidelines in South Bend is the executive director of the Cotton Bowl, Jim Brock. And Jim, it's been reported everywhere that right now Notre Dame is your team in the Cotton Bowl. Do you look at that as a done deal?
Jim, I think if everything goes right today, that we certainly have a good chance of landing Notre Dame for a 5th time in Dallas. Our conversation has been good with the Notre Dame people. When you deal with first-class organization like they have here, and Coach Holtz and Dick and Father Beauchamp, those kind of people, without ever really putting together a deal, everything has been on the plus side for both of us, and I feel like we have an excellent opportunity to bring Notre Dame to Dallas.
Now, we just spoke with Pete Williams from the Orange Bowl, and he says that trying to work a 2-way deal with the Cotton Bowl didn't work out for fear of a possible Miami-Arkansas rematch coming in your bowl.
Well, in all fairness to the Orange Bowl and to both Notre Dame and Miami, 2 great institutions, that is exactly right. I think we have had discussions, mainly with Phil Scoville, with Pete Williams, both of them team selection chairman. We did discuss the possibilities, but it's just something that you would have to sweat down the wire, and it was not in the best interest of us, particularly to go that route.
Now, the official bids are not extended until next Saturday. However, really, tomorrow, everything will be locked up 24 hours from right now. So the Orange Bowl, it looks like, Era, will hold its breath and hope Miami gets by Notre Dame and South Carolina its last 2 games and have its national championship game there in the Orange Bowl.
Exactly right, Jim. But you got to take your hat off to the Orange Bowl committee. They tried to put together the best combination, but it took other bowls to cooperate, and it takes 2 to tango, and they couldn't get it done.
So we look for Miami against the Big 8 winner there. And in the Cotton Bowl, it looks like for sure Notre Dame against the Southwest Conference champion. Should the Irish win the rest of their regular season games, they could be like number 2 or number 3 come January 1st. Why wouldn't Lou Holtz explore another bowl where he could take on a higher-ranked team? Because the SWC does not have very many highly ranked teams this year.
Well, Jim, I think what a lot of people don't know is that Lou Holtz has been to all the other 3 bowls. He's been in the Rose Bowl as an assistant coach, the Sugar Bowl, and the Orange Bowl. He's never been to the Cotton Bowl, and I think he wanted to round that out, and I think they're going to do it.
All right, and a chance, of course, to go against Arkansas, the team he used to coach there down in Dallas. Now, another key New Year's Day bowl game is the Fiesta Bowl, and earlier I asked Bruce Skinner if, as rumored, it will be Florida State against the runner-up of next Saturday's Oklahoma-Nebraska game.
Well, Jim, we think that we have an excellent chance of pulling off that matchup. Of course, bid day is November 21, but we're hopeful that we can pull that off. Right now, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Florida State, they're 3 out of the top 4 ranked teams in the country, so we think that that's an outstanding matchup if we're able to pull that off.
And, of course, we talked with our bowl representatives just a few minutes ago. That was not live. And the Fiesta Bowl, though, Era, will be Florida State against the runner-up Oklahoma or Nebraska from the Big 8. Now, also, just a few minutes ago, talked with the Sugar Bowl Executive Director Mickey Holmes. He tells me next week they will have a representative at Syracuse when the bowls can officially be extended. So what he's saying, Syracuse will be going to New Orleans and taking on the SEC champion. The Rose Bowl, that Indiana-Michigan State winner against UCLA or USC. And an update now on what a shocker this is turning out to be. Missouri has just kicked a 45-yard field goal. Tom Wheelahan, 45 yards out, and 8 minutes to go. It's 17-13 Sooners over Missouri. We'll keep you posted in the second half of our game. Right now, the Tide is trailing by 2 touchdowns against Notre Dame. With Era Parsegan, I'm Jim Nance in New York. Thanks for watching the Prudential College Football Report here on CBS.
The Prudential College Football Report has been sponsored by the Prudential. Your Prudential representative goes above and beyond to meet your needs in insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, your rock in financial services.
Former college basketball player Edward Monk Malloy.
Among the purposes of higher education is the cultivation of skills of lifetime learning and responsible citizenship. Properly understood, intercollegiate athletics can be an integral part of that educational process by developing habits of self-discipline, cooperation, effective leadership, and the ability to handle both victory and defeat.
The preceding brought to you by the College Football Association.
The Southeastern Conference, where women athletes compete at the highest level, with national recognition second to none. The Southeastern Conference, 10 universities for all America.
You're watching college football on CBS. Alabama at Notre Dame. Brent Musburger and Pat Hayden will be back with the second half action from South Bend after this message and a word from your local stations.
Take me back where I belong. Take me where it's safe and warm.
The Goodyear Vector is the all-season radial that pumps water away to keep more tire tread on the road.
Ooh, Pinky hasn't taken a bad picture of me yet.
This is CBS.
Buck, only from that great green growing group of banks, the Merchants National Companies.
For your farm, your family, your piece of America, and everything you're working for, AgriCenter means more.
Your local
AgriCenter dealer has a lot more to offer. More experience, more top quality products, more service, more value, more of what you need for your farm. Get more at your local AgriCenter dealer.
Hi friends, Denny Beck of Beck Toyota. We're celebrating our first year anniversary this month, and as a special thank you for making us #1 in the state of Indiana, we're giving up to a $200 gift certificate from LS Ayres with any new or used vehicle purchase. So come on in and beat us down. Make your best deal and get top money for your trade-in. With no money down, select your choice at $159 a month of an 88 Tercel or an 88 pickup. This is ownership, not a lease. With the lowest prices in town, nobody deals like Beck Toyota.
Start your day off right with Our Magazine, weekdays at 9.
CBS Sports presents college football. Today's CFA game is sponsored by the Heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet. Michelob Light. When the sun goes down, light up the night with Michelob Light. American Airlines, something special in the air. And by Domino's Pizza. Domino's Pizza delivers hot, fresh-baked pizza in 30 minutes or less.
The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame leading Alabama 20-6. The Crimson Tide will kick it off here in South Bend. The critical opening minutes of the third quarter for Alabama, and Ward boots it with Tim Brown on one hop coming out from the 2. Tackled at the 30-yard line by Shannon Felder. John Dockery had a few words with Coach Bill Curry.
Bobby Humphrey only carried the ball 6 times first half. Why?
Well, they're taking us out of our game plan by stuffing everything we're doing. We're being out hit. You got to block people and tackle people to win a game. So Bobby will get the ball more in the second half, but we've got to have the football in order to give it to Bobby. Guy gets 12 or 15 carries in a half. That means you've had the ball a lot. Time of possession's got to be very strongly in Notre Dame's favor. They've simply outplayed us in every phase of the game. We're fortunate that we got 2 quarters to get back in it.
And on the first down of the third quarter, the Irish pounded right straight ahead, and Willie Wyatt and Greg Gilbert make the stop. Now, Coach Curry alluded to the time of possession, and there it is. Pat Hayden?
And Notre Dame has done something with their time of possession. This is a very important series for the Alabama defense. I think they need to force Notre Dame to punt the ball after 3 plays, give their offense a chance to get back in the ball game here.
Reggie Ward, Tim Brown are out to the left. Ricky Waters checks in at tailback. Green is out. Rice, time, wants Brown, incomplete, and stepping in there was Kermit Kendrick.
Had him wide open. Terrific protection here. You're going to see this whole offensive line gives Tony Rice the chance to throw the ball downfield. Now it's set up because they've run the ball so well. There's the play action fake. Now he had Brown wide open. The ball is underthrown and then well played by Kendrick, number 27. Throws it over the top. It's a score.
Third down and long against Kendrick and the Bama defense. Rice under pressure is sacked inside the 20-yard line. Rockwell barrels in to bring him down.
And Randy Rockwell ran right over Ricky Waters to make the play. Ricky Waters was a tailback. He was supposed to pick up the linebacker blitzing. Watching the top of the screen. There's 57 Rockwell. There's 12 Ricky Waters. He runs right over him and makes the play on Rice. That's a sensational play by Rockwell.
Phelan punting for the Irish, and the Bama defense comes up tough with Whitehurst back deep. Whitehurst will let this one roll. He came up a little too quickly on that line drive, looking for a return, then thought the better of a very difficult punt to handle. So the Irish pick up a few bounces there, and it's a 51-yard punt.
The Alabama defense did their job. They held Notre Dame the first series. Now it's the offense's turn, and Vince Sutton, the quarterback.
So Jeff Dunn, whom Coach Curry says may be able to play in the second half, will not start. He was shaken up, and Vince Sutton steps in. motion behind him. And they run the fullback straight ahead.
Nice play by the nose tackle, Mike Griffin, number 94, who stayed right at home. This guy leads the team in scars. He's had ankle surgery, knee surgery, back surgery, but he's played awfully well. He's right there in the middle of the screen, number 94, fights off the center, and then gets back in and makes the play. It's really come a long way this year.
Second and long. Wright yells something back at Humphrey. Here's the toss to Bobby. Busts the tackle. Runs hard to the 34. They must get out to the 37 for a first down. So it'll be a third down for the Crimson Tide coming up.
We talked about Bobby Humphrey being very versatile. We've only seen him actually throw the ball to him, I think, twice in the first half. And in a situation like this, you can either pitch the ball to Humphrey or throw him some sort of pass, but you want the ball in his hands.
Toss again to Humphrey. On the cutback, he'll be close to the first down, but he had to get out to the 37-yard line or near it for the first down. Coach Curry looking at the spot. And 4th and short.
Well, if I'm Vince Sutton, I ask the referee for a measurement. This is too important of a down. I ask for a measurement so you know exactly how far short you are. They have to give it to you if you ask for it.
Chris Moore punting. And Tim Brown awaiting another opportunity. Irish set the return, and Moore booms one high. Brown at the 19. Gets away. And down at the 34-yard line. 3 white jerseys surround Tim Brown, and he still explodes for a 14-yard return. He's something, isn't he? We'll be right back.
Avoid the Noid with the Domino's Pizza Guarantee. We guarantee your pizza will be delivered within 30 minutes, or you get $3 off your order. Guaranteed. And we guarantee your pizza will taste great. If you're not satisfied with your pizza, we'll replace it or refund your money. Only our pizza is guaranteed to avoid the noise. Domino's Pizza delivers. Call now.
Listen to the heartbeat. Listen to the heartbeat of America. Oh, yeah.
Today's Chevrolet Celebrity. It has the comfort, security, and performance for people who've grown up without growing old.
The heartbeat of America. That's today's Chevrolet. Dreaming, dreaming, the dreams of America.
GMAC makes financing or leasing the new GM car or truck of your dreams easy. Just see your General Motors dealer. We'll help your dream come true.
The dreams of America, GMAC. We're making your dreams come true. The dreams of America, GMAC.
Official sponsor of America's Dreams.
11-12 remaining in the third quarter, and Notre Dame leading Alabama 20-6. Tim Brown takes a breather, as he does after returning a punt, and so for quarterback Tony Rice, Reggie Ward and Alonzo Jefferson are the wide receivers. And Rice will throw off, moving to the left, but he keeps it. He's run for 1 touchdown, and he picks up good yardage on that first down before Randy Rockwell can bring him down for Bama.
Good blocks on the left side of the offensive line, and this was a run all the way because you're going to see the wide receivers also blocking all the way. They were never looking for the pass. Freeman and Rader on the left side, and you see the back Green make a very nice block, and the receivers did as well.
Tony Rice running for 1 touchdown and passing for a second. There's the Irish in front. Now it's 2nd and short. They run the fullback. He'll be short of that first down. Johnson, the ball carrier, into the arms of Willie Wyatt and Tommy Cole. So it'll be short yardage for the first down. And an Irish player is shaken up.
That's Chuck Lanza, the center. I'll tell you, he has had a sensational year for Notre Dame and played very well again today. Rough go of it today against Willie Wyatt, though, the nose tackle from Alabama, who's had a very good game, too.
So Jeff Dunn, who was shaken up late in the first half, now starts to loosen up on the Alabama sideline.
And when your center gets hurt, Brent, I'll tell you, as a quarterback, what you're worrying about is a fumbled exchange when the second-team center comes in. They were trying to get some practice in right now over by Lou Holtz. They're trying to get in some practice between the second-team center and Rice.
And Mike Helt has been snapping, but let's get a quick report on his condition. Let's go over on the quarterback situation in Alabama. Here's John Dockery. John.
Thank you, Brent. I heard you talking about Jeff Dunn. I watched Brent. Back to you.
Let's go back down and complete that. I think we've got a few seconds here. John, what was your thought?
Let me just tell you, now they're getting ready to snap the ball, so I'll go back to you, Brent, and then I'll talk to you about Jeff Dunn in a moment.
From the wishbone, and Green is stopped. They apparently will have to punt it away, Pat.
Another big defensive play here in the second half. Don Lindsay, the defensive coordinator from Alabama, has made all the nice adjustments at halftime. His defense has shut down the Irish 2 series here in the second half. Remember, this is 3rd and 1. They have not stopped Notre Dame on short yardage yet today until this down. The wishbone, just a power play, but Tommy Cole, number 51, really made the penetration in the play.
Whitehurst, the return man, failing the punter. Cannot escape. Andre Jones, number 7, another future star for Notre Dame, roars down and stops Whitehurst after a 2-yard return.
Light up the night. When the sun goes down, gonna light up the night. Silver label, red ribbon, a taste that's right. Gonna light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Gonna light up the night. Gonna light up the night. My Michelob Light.
The right parts. Mr. Goodwrench has the right parts. Engineered for your GM car by people who designed your GM car. Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better. No one.
With so many automatic features, Zenith's new smaller VHS camcorder not only lets you take perfect pictures, it lets you show them again and again. Zenith. Quality.
All set, Doctor. What's your condition? Still serious. Everything ready in Chicago? The surgical team will be waiting. Good. You'll be at the airport in 7 minutes. Your flight's on time. This is going to be one complicated operation. That's why they called you.
When you're something special, people know it.
The 2 best teams in the nation. Number 1, Oklahoma. Number 2, Nebraska. The game of the year. A doubleheader day of champions next Saturday on CBS Sports.
Jeff Dunn, the Alabama quarterback, shaken up before the half, is now back in the game. They checked his hand-eye coordination along the sidelines, checked his eyes. It appears to be okay, though he was a little bit wobbly, but they have him back in there now. Now back to you, Brent.
All right, John. We have 8:47 remaining here in the third. Notre Dame leading Alabama 20-6. And Dunn brings the Crimson Tide to the attack. goes to the 20-yard line before he's tripped up by Ned Bolcar, number 47, that inside linebacker from Phillipsburg, New Jersey.
If Alabama is going to come back and win, it's Bobby Humphrey that's going to do it. They have to find as many ways as they possibly can to get him the ball, on pitches, on screens, on draws. Only had 9 carries this far today.
On to second down, Dunn keeps it, and he is ripped by Figueroa. Well, Oklahoma under fire all afternoon. Let's get an update. Here's Jim Nance. Jim?
Well, Brent, Oklahoma has held on for victory. Missouri got the football back with about 2 minutes to go. This was 4th and 15 for the Tigers to keep their hopes alive. It fell incomplete, and the Sooners win it and set up next week's matchup with Nebraska. Let's go back to Brent.
And here, Jim, Alabama with a big 3rd down. It's time. Incomplete. Wanted Stafford, underthrew him. He caught it on the bounce. An incomplete pass. Bama forced a punt. And again, that Irish defense does the job.
Notre Dame will get very good field position again.
Chris Moore bangs one toward Brown. From the 37, down at the 40-yard line. Quickly covered by Alabama. So now, with the results starting to roll in, we can take a look at what's ahead of us next Saturday. Now, Notre Dame goes into Happy Valley, and wouldn't Joe Paterno love to stage an upset in that one? Could be the game of the year for the Nittany Lions. And then afterwards, Oklahoma, Nebraska. Okay, Pat Hayden, who will be favored in that game, Oklahoma or Nebraska?
It's got to be Nebraska, which is unusual for a second-ranked team because of the way they're playing. It's at home and because of the injuries to Oklahoma.
Should be a damn. 1st and 10 for the Irish. Rice keeps it, and he is hit from behind by Tommy Cole.
Now, Tommy Cole has really played well today, and he's played some unusual positions. He's a defensive tackle, as you're going to watch Cole stun here. When you get penetration this quickly, this is one way to stop the option. But Cole will play down in a 4-point stance, and then he'll line up kind of in a linebacker's position right over the guard.
Chuck Lanza back in there at center for Notre Dame on this 2nd and long. Beck is the tight end. Green. And it'll be 3rd and long. Alabama's defense starting to come on strong here.
Beginning of the game, we said if Notre Dame could run the ball inside, they'd win. They did that the first half, but not here in the second half. They've stuffed them. Alabama has.
You can see that Bill Curry's put the headset back on. That's his son, Bill Curry Jr. To the right of the screen, he wears the headset. He delivers the calls down to his father. Young man who plays football at Tuscaloosa High. He's a sideline assistant.
Looks like he's going to be a heck of a coach, too, doesn't he?
Getting a start early. Now Rice, play action. Going to go long, wants it all. Brown's got it to the 5-yard line. That's the wishbone signal on the sideline. A 54-yard reception.
Brent, I think Timmy Brown pushed off on Mangum. It looked like offensive interference to me. Let's take another look at it. He's right there, obviously. 29, takes the inside away. Goes up with his right hand. Yeah, he is pushing off Mangum. That should have been an offensive interference call.
I thought that was really a major league push.
Well, I think he pushed. Anytime you push it, that is a penalty.
Well, he's caught 4 passes for 114 yards. There's the bone look with Brooks and Green. They're the halfbacks. Green stopped at the 5. Lou Holtz promising a running attack. Turns loose a sophomore thrower this afternoon. Young Tony Rice. He's already tossed for 1 short touchdown to Heck. Now he's hit the 54-yarder to Brown.
Notre Dame has run the option play down here all season long to perfection.
Banks set in front of Green. fullback, Banks, getting to the 3-yard line, and it'll be 3rd down again. And let's take a look at Wyatt.
Willie Wyatt, the nose tackle. Again, we've talked about the kind of game he's had. He fights off Lanza, who's back in the ball game, and then right down the line. He gets a little actually held there by Chuck Lanza.
And Anthony Smith, number 94, who turned in some key moments against LSU, came up and actually made the tackle on that play. Now here's the 3rd down. The wide side is to Rice's right hand. And they go the other way. And he gets nowhere as Wyatt again penetrates and makes a great defensive play. And so the field goal team trots onto the field here for the Irish. Good defense by Alabama so far, except for the one play.
Again, and I think it was a questionable call, but still, Willie Wyatt really did a job down here on 3 successive plays. Fights off Lanza and puts the quick stop on Rice. It's sensational when your nose tackle leads the team in tackles.
Now Grottle has kicked a 49-yarder and a 21-yarder. This would be a 22-yarder. He's perfect. 3 field goals by Ted Grottle. First points of the second half. The Irish still lead it.
Thank you.
Kent Avery. Big promotion, important project. You're really on the go.
Next step, VP.
But didn't your client just stop you from using her phone?
Oh, minor faux pas.
Once she found out that you were calling Nome, Alaska?
Well, at least I asked.
And you should have used your AT&T card.
Really?
With your AT&T card, almost any phone becomes your phone. Just dial 0 plus the number you're calling, then your card number, and your call is billed to your phone.
Great concept.
To get the AT&T card, dial 1-800-CALL-ATT.
What's all the excitement at your Chevy dealers? It's Chevy National Pickup Month. Come see new option packages for $1988 that can save you up to $1,900 on Chevy S10 pickups. And take the test drive of the decade in the advanced new full-size Chevy. The first all-new full-size pickup introduced in this decade. See your Chevy dealer now during Chevy National Pickup Month. Everybody else is.
Light fighters, the new light infantry. No matter where you are, in the jungle, the Arctic, the desert, or the mountains, you run out of day before you run out of challenge.
You know, all this talk about building your confidence might sound like a lot of hype. Let me tell you, hype doesn't get you to the top of this rock.
Be all that you can be.
Hey, Gal.
What?
The elevator's here.
Find your future in the Army.
On the NFL Today, in Philly, they call it Buddy Bowl. Brent Musburger interviews the man who's turning the Eagles into contenders, Buddy Ryan, tomorrow on CBS Sports.
Alabama fans will be a little bit upset about this view. Tim Brown, with the broken finger, appears to be juggling the ball, and watch what happens to the football as Tim Brown goes down. Does not have good control, but he alertly rolls over the top of the ball, and they ruled a reception of 54 yards. So forget the interference, did he or didn't he? He really did not have control of the ball, but it counts. The Irish kick a field goal, and they lead it 23-6. 3:46 to go here in the third. A short bouncing kickoff. Humphrey picks it up just before it was to go out of bounds. Now that would have been a 5-yard penalty and a re-kick, and there is a flag that comes down late into the pile. One of the trailing officials threw the flag, and so we have got a penalty, and the Irish are signaling that it is going against Alabama. So Bobby Humphrey in a spot where it apparently would have gone out of bounds and been marked off against Notre Dame.
Boy, and that's depressing for a quarterback when you come out and you think you're going to have the ball on the 20 or 21-yard line, but then after the penalty, you're in the shadow of your own goalpost.
So it's a personal foul, and the ball is walked off back to the 10-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Alabama. Big one for the Irish again next week when they play Penn State. Then it's Oklahoma, Nebraska. Vince Sutton returns as the Bama quarterback. broken play. Makes the most of it. Battles out for about a yard.
Vince Sutton, we talked about him a little bit earlier. He had 2 starts earlier this year, and actually he's a junior quarterback. Started as a freshman for about 4 games at Alabama. But Bill Curry thought he wasn't really getting the job done, and then went to Jeff Dunn after the 2 starts by Sutton. Has a very strong arm, though.
That's a bunch, isn't it? Steps up against the pressure and throws incomplete. Had Humphrey open. George Streeter there with the coverage.
Good pressure by Frank Stams, number 30, an outside linebacker who put some pressure on Vince Sutton. 3rd and 19. That's the title of my next book. Saw that a lot. 3rd and 19.
You wonder if the Orange Bowl has given up their quest for Notre Dame. Watching how impressively the Irish are handling Alabama here this afternoon. Notre Dame still with that confrontation against Miami in a couple weeks. Sutton cannot scramble out of trouble. He'll have to punt again as Rich Morrison, backup nose tackle, gets the job done for Holtz. And a standing ovation for the defense.
Big surprise to me has been the pass rush by Notre Dame today. They haven't had it all year long. Morrison, number 86, just fought his way through the block of the center and made the play.
Moore bangs another one for Tim Brown. They've been punting to him and going down on coverage. Fumble. Ball is loose. Alabama pounces on it here on the near sideline, and they got it. A fumble punt by Tim Brown. And Alabama gets down and recovers it.
You know, and I admire Bill Curry's decision. Yesterday, he said, hey, we are Alabama. We're a great football team. We are going to punt the ball to Tim Brown, and we're going to go down and cover him and tackle him. And they've done it all day long. He had one nice punt return, but here they turn over the fumble.
Great job by number 18, Lorenzo Ward, on that play.
We've got a new quarterback for Alabama, Billy Ray, number 12. Highly recruited, Brent, highly recruited player.
So Ray steps in. Keeps it and then pitches, and Humphrey catches up with it and gets to the 35-yard line. Here's how the Tide have accomplished it, taking advantage of those turnovers.
They've forced 17 interceptions and 16 fumbles this year. Billy Ray, big freshman out of Atlanta, he's 6'4" and 200 pounds.
Wow, great job by Flash Gordon.
And nice strategy by Foge Fazio, the defensive coordinator. When you get a new quarterback in, you blitz him. 38, Flash Gordon off the corner. It's way too quick for Condon, number 77, the guard, to pull out and block him. That's what they were trying to do. That's why they call him Flash. Nice strategy, though. Blitz a new quarterback.
So Ray and Alabama with the ball back at the 45 now. They must get inside the 30 for a first down. Running the quarterback draw and going nowhere. Frank Stams, the one-time fullback here in South Bend, out of Akron, Ohio, gets the stop.
They're expecting a fake punt, so Notre Dame has kept its first defense in the game. 4th and 14, I don't think you're going to see a fake punt.
And Moore hangs one high inside the 10, and Alabama goes for it right there inside the 5-yard line. They down it. A 40-yard punt, and it was a beautiful by number 5, Chris Moore.
It was number 32, Brent, Courtney, Orlando Courtney, who made the play there. He stopped the ball early before it went into the end zone. That was a proper call by the official.
Final seconds running off here in the third quarter. Notre Dame leading Alabama 23-6. And the Irish 98 yards away. Tony Rice quickly brings the play into the huddle, and the 25-second clock begins. The tailback. And Green stood up by Kermit Kendrick, number 27.
That was a tackle. Got himself in great position, a strong safety. He saw the gap, the hole there, and he filled it beautifully.
But we've got a timeout as the third quarter comes to an end. And college football on CBS will return after this message and a word from your local stations.
When the sun goes down, it's gonna light up the night. Silver label, red ribbon, a taste that's right. Gonna light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Light up the night.
Radio Shack's sale price Tandy 1000 TX brings the gift of a true high-speed business computer to your home affordably. PC compatible, easy to use, with 7 ready-to-run programs for the family. Keep a budget, write term papers, even create graphics or learn music. Save $250 on the high-speed Tandy 1000 TX, color monitor included, only $1249. Tandy computers, because there is no better gift value. Only at Radio Shack.
This is CBS.
Hello, is anybody out there? We interrupt this program for a special report about radio. Across the dial, stations are fighting for your ears and those big advertising bucks. Beginning Monday, News 8's Patty Spitler takes you to the front lines of Indianapolis radio. See the faces behind your favorite voices and find out how competition affects what you hear. Catch her report Monday at 6 on Wish TV News 8.
You see more Volvos on the road these days because there's a new alternative for luxury car owners. Maybe these people know something you don't. Like Volvo's long history of safety engineering and a reputation for being practical and durable, with an odometer that reaches almost 1 million miles. Have you ever driven a Volvo? At least stop by for a test drive. Then you'll truly know why so many people are buying Volvos today. Tom Wood Volvo, a dealership with a different approach to selling automobiles.
Unit 16, traffic emergency, eastbound Hillside, over.
Unit 16, roger.
Unit Delta 9 dispatch, Hillside Freeway.
Delta 9 roll.
Unit 6, Medic 1, 1052, Hillside Freeway.
Medic 1, patient is stable.
Unit 6, please respond. 10-4.
The Informant Information Radio is available at all H.H. Gregg superstores.
Hollywood Squares, weeknights at 7:30 on Wish TV.
CBS Sports presents college football. Today's CFA game is sponsored by Michelob Light. When the sun goes down, light up the night with Michelob Light. GMAC, the official sponsor of America's Dreams. And by Norelco Electric Razors for a close and comfortable shave.
One of Grotto's 3 field goals for the Irish, a 49-yarder. 54 of Brown's receiving yards on one play. Humphrey's done his job, but look at Alabama offensively. In the first series, 56 yards. They march down and kick a field goal. Since then, Foge-Fazio's adjustments have paid off. They've held them to 50 yards of offense since that opening series. It's been that kind of a day for the Notre Dame offense. Defensively, they've shut them down, and offensively, Tony Rice here handing the ball off to Green. Rice has passed for 1 touchdown and run for a second one as George Bethune wraps up Mark Green. So Lou Holtz's Fighting Irish facing the toughest schedule in the country move a step closer to what would be a glorious season for Notre Dame, regardless of where they wind up in the bowls.
And here's the bind that the Alabama defense is in now in a 3rd and 2 situation. Do you defend the power play, the off-tackle play, or the option? And you need 2 different types of defenses to do that.
Rice on 3rd and 2, running the option. Face mask, the penalty flags come down from all over the place as Derek Thomas illegally reached in and grabbed the mask.
And what a big play that is, because Alabama had him stopped short of the 1st down. This wasn't an intentional face mask. It was one of those inadvertent ones, but nonetheless, it'll give him the 1st down. Right there, Thomas goes right on, has his mask clearly there, but he would not have made the 1st down.
7th penalty against Bill Curry's Crimson Tide. Lou Holtz making sure those chains move on the far side. I was talking about the schedule. Notre Dame opened up with 3 Big Ten teams: Michigan, Michigan State, and Purdue. All right, now Michigan and Purdue, maybe they're not much this year. Michigan certainly down, but how about Michigan State? They appear headed for the Rose Bowl. Then they lose in Pittsburgh. They lose their starting quarterback. They come back against Air Force, USC, Navy, Boston College from behind. And now they're doing a number on Alabama. And Thomas did a number on Green that time from behind.
Well, they've played the most difficult schedule, will play the most difficult schedule in all of college football. Alabama is still a very good football team. And of course, Penn State and Miami. That's going to be 2 tough games at the end of the season.
Fullback Anthony Johnson shaken up. He comes to the sideline. Braxton Banks checks in. Notre Dame working on that clock now, down to 13.5 minutes left here in South Bend. At the end of the game, Jim Nantz will have all the scores and highlights coming your way from New York. He and Eric Parsegan will talk it over. They run the fullback. Banks right into the arms of Anthony Smith.
Offensive football is a matter of rhythm, and it's easier to get a rhythm running the football, and that's what Notre Dame has done now for 5 straight weeks. Really gain control of the line of scrimmage and run the ball very well. Really in a groove, Brent.
Wishbone, the fullback, out to the 25-yard line, and another Notre Dame 1st down. They move the chains with Braxton Banks, the ball carrier. He's the sophomore fullback out of Hayward, California.
That's one of the reasons the defense of Notre Dame has been so effective, is because the offense has been on the field for so long. The whole Alabama defense is actually looking over the sideline for signals. A little unusual. I haven't seen a defense do that before.
Here's Green on the toss. Great cutback. Green explodes at midfield. Finally steps out of bounds. They signal touchdown. Wait. They signal touchdown. He went down the sideline for 74 yards. They couldn't get an angle on him.
One of the subtle things, though, Brent, he'll change hands. He starts out with the ball in his right hand, but these teams are very fundamental. Now watch the cutback. Terrific blocks up front. He sees that the soft spot is back to his left to the inside. And then when he cuts back and breaks to the outside, he's going to change hands with the ball. One of the fundamental things you do, see, the ball doesn't get fumbled if you get tackled from the right side. And shows remarkable speed. The man has only fumbled once in the last 2 years.
Very close, but I think he did stay in bounds down there, didn't he? And again, a few more oranges.
And they threw the flag because of it. The referee threw the flag because of all the oranges coming down.
What a great run by Mark Green.
Doesn't get much credit because he plays in the team with Tim Brown.
That's the kind of afternoon he's enjoyed here. Their longest play from scrimmage this year. Grottle adds the extra point. And Mark Green, the junior from Riverside, California, makes the scoreboard light up with a great run down the sideline. What a great leg he showed him, huh? And we'll be right back.
Next Saturday, the game of the year, Oklahoma, Nebraska on CBS Sports.
If you ever thought you had to give up comfort to get a close shave, think again. Norelco puts close and comfortable right in the palm of your hand with a revolutionary system that shaves skin close in a way that's incredibly comfortable. With a patented lift and cut system that lifts each hair so it's possible to shave skin close without the blades even touching the skin. A shaver that defies logic gives you a shave that defies belief. Norelco Rotatract, where close and comfortable come face to face.
Dreaming the dreams of America.
GMAC makes financing or leasing the new GM car or truck of your dreams easy. Just see your General Motors dealer. We'll help your dream come true.
The dreams of America. GMAC. We're making your dreams come true. The dreams of America. GMAC.
Official sponsor of America's Dream.
When you have miles to go and promises to keep.
Listen to the heartbeat of America.
You could just discover new Chevrolet Corsica. And find not just a sports sedan with exceptional road performance, but a sports sedan designed to keep all your promises.
The heartbeat of America.
Corsica.
That's today Chevrolet.
My eyes did not deceive the first time. Joe Assetti, our director, comes up with this view. I want you to watch Green's right foot, not the left one, the right foot, out of bounds at the 12-yard line.
Well, Brent, John McKay, the head coach at USC for 16 years, always thought the referee's name here was Patrick Murphy.
Yeah. Robert De Niro watching the action here in South Bend. Grotto with the ball on the tee. He'll kick it off for the 20 because the student body has sacrificed 15 yards for a bid to the Orange Bowl. Fielded at the 22 by Humphrey. Hammered down. Found the 33-yard line. Tony Brooks. The young running back does a job, and you'll see some running backs do a job tomorrow with the NFL, 12:30 Eastern, NFL Today. Those are the early games on the CBS network. Then the doubleheader games, and a lot of you folks will watch the Giants and the Eagles. Randall Cunningham, can he keep it going there in Philadelphia? We'll find out tomorrow. Well, there's a couple of plays that the folks down in Birmingham are not going to be very happy about.
Oh, two at least that we've seen this half.
Billy Ray. He's the third quarterback used by Coach Curry here this afternoon. They got to come from behind now. He completes one to Whitehurst. Let's go downstairs to John Dockery. Doc.
Brent, I'd like to try to clear up the quarterback situation here at Alabama. That's Jeff Dunn behind me on the bench. Remember, he was hurt right before the half. He came back, tried to play, appeared to be so-so. He started to have a relapse of that wooziness that he had before the half, and he's just not able to continue. He won't be back at all. Now back to you, Brent.
All right, John, thank you. And, of course, Jokes was helped off the field, and I saw him go on into the locker room with a leg injury. This is a tough afternoon for Bama, and Auburn's still ahead. There's their big guy, Humphrey. He's wrapped up by Wells.
You know, Brent, there's some talk this week that Alabama might be looking past Notre Dame, if you could actually even imagine it, toward their showdown with Auburn in 2 weeks for the SEC title, perhaps. I find it hard to believe that you could ever look past a game like Notre Dame on national television, but they haven't really played very enthusiastically.
Not like they did last Saturday night down in LSU when we watched that game, a replay of it the other night. It is so hard for a team to stay up every week. And that's why, again, you've got to give Holt so much credit here at Notre Dame for the job he's done. Battle. Incomplete. One of the tight end cross. We're talking about the unbeatens. Let's take a peek. Here were the 4 and how they handled this afternoon's action. Oklahoma was in a struggle with Missouri, but they prevailed. You can see Nebraska idle. That is big, folks. That is huge when you get ready for Oklahoma to have a week off before your biggest game. Now, Syracuse rallies, and tonight Miami against Virginia Tech. Sometimes we overlook that Miami team. Coach Jimmy Johnson and I had a little telephone talk about that yesterday. I'll tell you more about that here in a moment as Bray pulls out. He's got time. Complete to the tight end cross, but short of the first down, so it'll be 3rd down for Alabama. Coach Johnson said, Brent, I know that you believe Florida State would be ranked ahead of us because of the job they did against Auburn if they had tied us, if they kicked the extra point. But don't forget, we had 42 seconds left in Tallahassee. We had all our timeouts. Walsh had done a spectacular job, and we had scored 3 of the last 4 times that we'd handled the ball. And, you know, you got to give him his credit on that. That's exactly right. That comeback should not be overlooked in that Miami performance.
And obviously he had thought about it. He had a very hot quarterback that day in the second half.
Well, the fans favored John Foley, 49, operating in there at linebacker now. Incomplete.
You know, Brent, you mentioned Lou Holtz getting his team ready each week. You have to remember, too, that most teams, when they come in to play Notre Dame or anywhere, they're at their emotional peak because this oftentimes it's a once-in-a-lifetime. They don't belong to a conference, so when you get Notre Dame, it may be your only shot. And so they have to play at an emotional peak each week, and they have done that against incredible competition.
Where does Northwestern go for its bowl game this year?
They're going to play Miami of Ohio somewhere, Brent.
I'll make Miami a favorite right now. 4th down here. Alabama will go for it. Nice pass by Ray and a great catch by Humphrey for the 1st down. So Jeff Dunn leaves for the Alabama locker room. And we certainly hope that nothing's seriously wrong with the young man. Freshman quarterback. He's out of Greensboro, North Carolina. He was the backup to the great Todd Ellis. Actually, he played safety on that high school team while Ellis was the quarterback, and then Dunn came over and quarterbacked in his senior year. So it's a 1st down for the Crimson Tide now, trying to roll one in for pride here against Notre Dame. Little play action. Good arm, but he overled Whitehurst, who was coming across. Now the Cotton Bowl situation. Let's go to Jim Nantz in New York for that update.
Well, Brent, if Notre Dame's going to Dallas as we expect, it doesn't look like Lou Holtz will go against his former team, Arkansas, because with 10 minutes to go, Arkansas is trailing Texas A&M 14-0. Craig Stump has just thrown an Aggie touchdown pass. Only 52 total yards for the Razorbacks in this game so far. Let's go back to Brent and Pat.
I was chuckling when I said we're going to New York for a Cotton Bowl update because all week long Haas Brock has been whistling the Notre Dame fight song at every pub and saloon in South Bend. What a character. 2nd and 10. Ray steps away from the pressure, motions a receiver, and then tucks it away. Gets nice yardage before he goes out of bounds, too. Sort of an impressive display here by Ray. I know that there's a lot of second-teamers out there on defense, but still in all, a 20-yard run, and Alabama moves the chains here.
Cedric Figueroa is down there, the outside linebacker for Notre Dame, but I was impressed there with Billy Ray, too. Shows some poise. Highly recruited quarterback. Most schools in the country wanted him.
You know, Lou Holtz is the master of the quip. And I know now he is seriously concerned about the condition of his linebacker, making sure that he is all right. But a lot of us were out at practice. We'll see here he rolled up on the front of Figueroa's foot. You can see number 48. See him roll up over on the left foot. That's why he's down there. A lot of us were out at practice here at South Bend watching Figueroa and the rest of the Irish get ready for this game on Thursday. And a lot of the parents had come out to the sideline, and Lou came over and he said, what a crowd for practice. This is larger than we had for games at William and Mary.
He was probably right.
Billy Ray It's a nice block by his running back. That gives him time, and it's intercepted. He underthrew his receiver, and Marv Spence picks it off in the end zone. And now they will call him out of bounds, folks. They're not going to get everyone on the sideline.
Yeah.
They will say that he was out of bounds.
Oh, Patrick Murphy wasn't over there. Again, this is what happens, though, when you're trying to force the ball, trying to make something happen. And you really can't blame Billy Ray. Marv Spence has played marvelously in the 2 games that I have seen. But after the interception, he's going to step out of bounds here, and there's the official to make the call.
Boy, Stafford was open in the end zone, too. All right, we'll be right back to South Bend in just a moment.
When the sun goes down, gonna light up the night. Silver label, red ribbon, I'll take that's right. Gonna light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. For it, light up the night. Wait for it, light up the night. Michelob Light.
True Value Hardware, it's more than a name.
The Master Mechanic cordless power screwdriver runs at 130 RPM, and you can use it anywhere to drive or remove a variety of screws. Plus, the charging stand keeps it ready for use. In November, the Master Mechanic cordless power screwdriver is only $13.99. Look for the True Value of the Month banner at participating True Value hardware stores and home centers.
Just listening to that good old country music, there just can't be a better way. I just passed Santa Fe on my way to L.A. Gonna ride in a West Coast rodeo. So it's nothing but time in this.
With the designed-in sound of a Delco Electronics music system, now the best seat in the house is in your GM truck. Delco Electronics, it's who we are.
That is a 9 there, folks. 9:30 to go. And that's Marv Spence, the cornerback who just intercepted the ball on the telephone there. He's a senior from Chester, Pennsylvania. And he has given the Irish possession out there on the 18-yard line. And at the conclusion of today's game, a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each team will be selected. And Chevrolet will donate a $1,000 scholarship to both Notre Dame and Alabama. And they run Pernell Taylor here on first down. He's seeing his first action here.
Well, a good story about Pernell Taylor, too. He is one of the seniors playing their last home game here. And number 46, he hasn't gotten a lot of playing time here over his 4 years. But, you know, there's lots of Pernell Taylors on teams across the country. And they're what make the teams, the guys that go out and practice hard and make the first teamers so special. You give guys like Pernell Taylor a lot of credit.
Has some great moments here for the seniors now. Tim Brown's last game in South Bend. They'll close out at Penn State and at Miami. There's Waters. They'll be seeing a lot of him in this stadium for the next few years. He's the freshman running back. 2 fine freshman tailbacks behind Green. Waters and Brooks. No, Tim Brown closing in on that Heisman Trophy, 225 total yards. And Bobby Humphrey will set sail after it next year for Alabama. Hard to believe, folks, that Alabama has never won the Heisman Trophy, given their great football tradition.
That's a travesty as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I agree. So many great players have come out of that school. Now it's third down. And here's the toss, and this is Brooks breaking a tackle. Fumbling the ball. The ball is down, and I think Alabama pounced on it. The blocker there did not see the ball come loose, and it was on the ground for a while. We'll let them sort things out down there before.
Brent, remember.
No, they're going to say that it is Alabama's ball. Yep, I was right the first time.
Remember earlier we saw Mark Green change hands when he made the cutback. And that's why he didn't go. But this time, watch, Brooks does not change hands. The ball's in his right hand, and that's where the pressure comes from. If he had switched the ball to his left hand, see, I don't believe he would have fumbled. That's the inexperience.
That was Kendrick who was knocking the ball free. And the blocker was so eager to get him a little more daylight, he didn't realize that the football was right at his heel. So it's 1st and 10 here for Ray and Alabama, and they'll try again to see if they can't put 6 on the board. Brown and Humphrey are in that backfield. There's the pitch to Humphrey. Got an alley. Good tackle over there at the 39-yard line by Todd Light. That freshman from Flint, Michigan is an impressive football player. So at Notre Dame Stadium, it has been the Fighting Irish stalking perhaps a national championship. They would have to climb over a whole bunch of teams. Included in that group are Nebraska and Oklahoma, and they'll play each other next week. 7:30 to go.
Ouch. I think Mike Griffin was anxious to hit a quarterback.
Oh, boy, did he want a lick.
He has really played well today. Talked about all the injuries that he has fought through. A little over anxious. There he goes. As long as you're going to do it, you might as well get a little piece of the quarterback. Get your name announced on television. Played well today, Mike.
That's Whitehurst. Down here, number 82 is Pierre, who goes in motion. They want Pierre on the end around. That's one of his plays. He's got great speed. They hammer him inside the 35-yard line. That's an 11-yard run, and the chains will move before Andre Jones, that freshman headhunter out of Hyattsville, Maryland, and I say that with affection. Number 7 has got some future here for the Fighting Irish, along with 49 John Foley.
Yeah, face mask penalty against the Fighting Irish. They'll move the chains even further.
There's the young man.
Yeah, Lou
he's
Holt.
6'4", 220 pounds.
And he was smiling about him. Yes, he's not smiling now, but yesterday he was smiling about Andre Jones.
You know, Lou looks like such a mild fellow all the time. And you get him down here on the sideline, and he starts raving on a Saturday afternoon. He gets into it, doesn't he, folks? First down. Here's Humphrey. He's down at the 20-yard line, and again it's Light.
Boy, is he ever smooth. You see him make a lot of people miss, and then we saw him break a tackle as well. Really glides Bobby Humphrey along the turf.
You know, I think next year, didn't I read that Boston College and Army are headed over to Ireland?
That's exactly right. Wouldn't you like to see Notre Dame in Boston College?
I was just about to say. Do you think you and I could promote Notre Dame against USC in Dublin?
Oh, that'd be nice. I was in Dublin once for St. Patrick's Day. Boy, was that fun. Half the Boston Police Department was there.
Humphrey out of bounds here on the near side, down at the 17-yard line. Well, speaking about teams going somewhere, how about Oklahoma and Nebraska? That's their last 5 meetings. 3 victories in a row for Barry Switzer. And I hope he's all right. I saw him come back with a cane. As coaches, that can be dangerous over there on the sideline when somebody rolls into your knee. And that game will be coming your way right after the Penn State Notre Dame game. Big doubleheader next Saturday afternoon. Nice fake by Ray. Underthrew, and a great defensive play by Todd Light again. He's been all over the field.
And that's a very nice read by Todd Light. When you see a quarterback on a naked bootleg come out there, he's going to throw the out pattern. And Todd Light read it and made the play.
You know, a couple teams are also going to Australia, Pat. Colorado State and Brigham Young are going to play in Melbourne, Australia.
A lot of bonus miles there for those teams.
Wright's the fullback in front of him. Off the fake. Complete underneath, and what a lick delivered that time by Andre Jones. Oh.
Lou Holtz really thinks that Andre Jones is going to be able to provide next year is a real strong pass rush, too. He is quick.
I wouldn't want him hitting on me. He's also got a nose guard. He says is going to be a good one next year.
You know, he says he's got a great senior class and a very good freshman class. He's kind of light in between, but with another good recruiting year or two, and believe me, Notre Dame will recruit well the next couple of years.
You take a look at where their players are from, coast to coast.
National team.
Now Kerry Good, number 35, out of Town Creek, Alabama. And Ray slips at the 25-yard line. It's been a frustrating afternoon here for the Crimson Tide. That's a 9-yard loss.
You know, Brent, they've never really seemed in sync. They've never been able to come down and run the ball 3 or 4 times in a row, get a few first downs, and come back with a pass. They've been out of rhythm all day long.
Well, they've got 2 weeks in the real season to start in Alabama.
That's right.
That's the one-day season down there, folks. If you think you've got a neighborhood rivalry, you got to hear the stories about Auburn and Alabama. People are either sad or happy all year long, depending on the outcome of that one. Here's Ray. Wants Stafford, and he overthrew him. Light covering him. And the Irish take over. Well, you got to think about the Fighting Irish, don't you, in that national championship picture, the way they played here today.
At UPS, we wash our planes so often, our competitors think we're obsessive. But keeping our planes clean reduces wind drag, which saves us thousands of tons of jet fuel each year. And it's obsessiveness like this that lets us deliver next-day air usually for half what other companies charge. Besides, we happen to like our planes clean. UPS, we run the tightest ship in the shipping business.
Just scratch and match.
I won! A camera!
You could win one of the tens of thousands of prizes from Mr. Goodwrench. Just stop in for an oil change. Or just stop in. No purchase is necessary to get the game card. And while you're there, enter the Island Paradise Vacation Sweepstakes. You could win a trip to Hawaii, Manhattan, the Bahamas, or the Virgin Islands. So see Mr. Goodwrench.
Stop in for an oil change now. Or just stop in.
Mr. Goodwrench. No one knows your GM car better. No one.
My father is the greatest. Is the greatest person I know.
If you had a race with my father, he'd always let you win at the end.
I love my pop very much.
He still calls me up and says, "How's my boy?"
When I grow up, I want to be like my dad.
When was the last time you took a picture of your dad?
This Heisman Trophy update is sponsored by Kodak.
Quarterback Don McPherson led Syracuse to its 10th win of the season. Touchdown tosses 19 and 20 on the year for McPherson. And Gordy Lockbaum scored twice, giving him 41 on his career as Holy Cross ran its record to 10-0. Let's go back to Brent and Pat with the Heisman frontrunner. Tim Brown's having another big day.
He certainly is, Jim Nance. Well over 100 yards and receptions. Good field position with his punt returns. He did have that one negative, that fumble on that punt, but he has the Fighting Irish ahead 30-6 here with 4:16 to go in the fourth quarter. I talked about the coast-to-coast recruiting. When this game started, Lou Holtz fielded an offense with 10 of 11 starters from different states. Now he comes with Waters. He's the freshman running back, and he breaks free with great speed. Looking for an alley. He'll go. Ricky Waters of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania for 75 yards.
Big block by the left guard, Tom Freeman. Right here. It cleared the way for Ricky Waters. And this is just a very tired defense of Alabama. They've been on the field almost the entire second half. But he's got some juice. He's got a different gear.
And Grotto bangs in the extra point. picture. And as Jim Nance reported at halftime, it looks now like Miami will play the winner of Oklahoma-Nebraska, but don't be too sure. The Cotton Bowl has Notre Dame lined in their sights. But the Orange Bowl must be thinking at this hour, after this performance, how do we get the winner of the Notre Dame-Miami game to play for the national championship? You've got to believe now that the committee will be thinking seriously about that. Well, the brothers Good were back there, and here's Kerry. He's out to the 26. Let's check in on the Fiesta Bowl picture. Now, Florida State, they'll get a big paycheck there, and one they richly deserve. They'll play probably the loser of Oklahoma-Nebraska, although I've never seen that confirmed, really. These are all speculative right now. The Sugar Bowl, of course. Now, one of those 4 teams from the Southeastern Conference will go. Auburn, Alabama. Remember, there's probably going to be a tie down there between a couple of those teams, and the committee will select. And the way Syracuse has played, it's likely that they'll sign up the Orangemen for that trip down to New Orleans. Here's Ray. He's the 3rd Alabama quarterback. Dumps it off to Kerry Good. So with Michigan State winning that game, it appears as though the Spartans will go. I think their last game is against Wisconsin, if I remember the Big Ten schedule, and they will play UCLA or USC. What about that one, Brad?
I like UCLA in that game. UCLA is probably the better team, although Rodney Peete at USC, their quarterback, has a chance to win any game.
There goes his alumni card.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be honest, right? I'm not a homer.
Second and long. Complete. Fumble. Notre Dame. Todd Light hammers the ball free. And Don Grimm recovers. 2 freshmen get the job done against Curry's Alabama team that time.
The ball was clearly secured, but a very good tackle, as he's done all day long, by Todd Light. He's played well, and a great name for a linebacker, Don Grimm.
Now, Kent Graham, I didn't even have an opportunity to say he was in at quarterback on that last series before he handed off to Ricky Waters, who exploded for the touchdown. They've had long runs, short passes, long field goals, short field goals. The Irish have scored every way imaginable here this afternoon. And now a 3rd tailback, Tony Brooks, is on the field. Here he comes, looking for daylight. But he will not get away, and they're going to really ride him down. I mean, there's a lot of frustration in that tackle right there, folks.
I'll tell you what, Notre Dame is pretty good this year, but in a couple of years when these freshmen get a little bit older, and they have more speed than I've ever seen a Notre Dame team have.
But I want to say one thing. The hardest thing to replace is an offensive line. And that's the heart and soul of this team, and there are 4 seniors in that offensive line. 2nd down long. John Madden would be proud of me for saying that, wouldn't he? Little movement down there in the middle.
Whoops. Darrell Whetstone, number 92.
Isn't that a glorious view of the Golden Dome? Just a spectacular setting. If you love college football, I really hope you have an opportunity to watch one game here in this arena. It's so intimate. All the ghosts that walk around here. Yeah, they run a young fullback right straight ahead. You know, the Citrus Bowl moved to January 1st. They've got a lot of things to sell down there with Disney World close by. Clemson could even play Penn State, I suppose, or one of the teams from the Southeastern Conference would make a nice club down there in the Citrus Bowl. Bring in a lot of fans.
Fred, that's Bill Curry's real challenge, I think, is to pick his team off the emotional floor. And they have a week off, I know, but to get ready for Auburn, it's still a chance at the Sugar Bowl.
Steve Bellis. Handoff from Graham. Graham is a freshman quarterback from Wheaton, the same high school that turned out Chuck Long. That's Wheaton North. And the last time I mentioned that, somebody wrote me a letter and said, hey, you missed the most famous Wheaton graduate of all, the Galloping Ghost, Red Grange. So I did a quick check, and he's from another high school in Wheaton. So
you didn't even give me a chance. I was going to guess.
Now Pete Graham steps in. He's a junior out of Rumson, New Jersey. He's the quarterback, and he hands the ball off, and that's a pretty good-looking run by Bellis. Well, there will be some who would say that Alabama should have played a better game up here in South Bend. Last week they were singing his praises for the effort against LSU, but he's in a tough spot, replacing Ray Perkins, who, of course, stepped in for the legend, Bear Bryant. But all will be forgiven if Alabama can beat Auburn. Believe me, it is that important. But nothing will be forgiven if he doesn't win that one. It has come to an end. And now they cannot throw the penalty flags when the Oranges come on the field. Lou Holtz seeking out Coach Curry. Down to John Dockery. Doc, take it away.
Thank you, Lou. You had some goals before the year began to get to a January 1 bowl to be a national champion. They're all intact.
Well, there we had 4 goals, and it goes to credit to the coaches, the players, and our fans. They're fantastic. What can I say? I was scared to death Alabama coming in. They're a fine team, but they just picked the wrong time to play Notre Dame here.
Which bowl would you like to go to?
Well, we'd like to play for the national championship, and that would have to be in the Orange Bowl. That's where we want to go. We played a difficult schedule, but we still have 2 tough ones to go. I just want to play the best because that's the way our schedule is, but we'd like a shot at national championship, but only Penn State's the only thing on my mind.
You told us you didn't have a defense, and you showed us one today.
Well, we had a good week practice in the defense. It was a total team. They came out and played well. We just get too many penalties, including our students.
Well, congratulations, Lou.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, John, thank you. Now, I'm sure that Jimmy Johnson, the sportsman, is sitting down in Miami saying, let's get it on, winner take all. Miami against Notre Dame. What about it, Coach Johnson? There'd be some scene down there, wouldn't it? And here we've got some scene in South Bend. The seniors saluting the senior class right here. The student body cheering them. The sun is set on South Bend. And let's get a scoring update and find out what's going on. Let's send you to New York, and here's Jim Nance.